One of the, well, he's a wicketkeeper batsman. He won't be keeping today. It'll be Dennis Ramdin who's going to be keeping. He's back in the team. West Indies putting out a pretty strong side. A long time since they put out a side that's this strong. So of course Andre Russell is back in that team. So we've got Fletcher at 3. Samuels is going to be next in at 4. Ramdin carded to come in at 5. And then you've got Russell and Brathwaite 6 and 7. Chemo Paul, who's a new up-and-coming youngster who's got a lot of promise at 8. Ashley Nurse, Sam Badrie and Keswick Williams. So it's Fletcher, who was Kevin Peterson's prodigy in the CPL. He plays forward to that one from Rashid. Another good ball from Rashid Khan. And, well, Rashid Khan repaying the support he's had from this crowd tonight. There was a big roar when he came on to bowl. You can understand why. Very exciting bowler, and a decent over from him, which just goes for 9 runs, taking the wicket of Evan Lewis.
Can we give him a jingle for Andre Fletcher? Because I'm not...
Fletcher by golly, wow, you're the one who can smash it for 6 and 4. You've got that ammunition in your back, we know for sure. Andre Fletcher.
Oh, that's very sweet, isn't it?
And another change of bowling.
Oh, we'll give him a jingle in a minute. Who's this?
Shahid Malik returning from the pavilion.
No, it's I think it's the...
it is?
Oh, it is Shahid Malik, is it? And Legel plays that onto the leg side, and there's no run.
And
Yeah, it is Shahid Malik.
It is indeed. On the subject of drinking, Jeff Perkins asks, what is an appropriate opportunity for the wine? Dot ball, single, end of an over. I'm going to wait.
And we're back. And it's the last session of the day. Whisper it quietly. I said that enough. Bollocks. We're probably going to die and fail. But hopefully that's the opposite of what will happen.
Lovely sunny day there at Headingley still.
It's a beautiful day. Pitch has become quite placid, to be fair.
I wonder how many of them are dressed like Steve Busfield right now.
I don't know, quite a lot actually at the Western Terrace.
Yeah, exactly.
There'll be
a few of them, and then there'll be an awful lot of people wearing an awful lot of very hot clothing.
Yeah,
you know, Crusaders.
They'll be pissed
Batman.
As
they
now,
will be
they?
actually.
This is the day where if you go dressed as a monk, you think, "Oh God, why have they got this on?"
Well, it's after tea, and this man is going to continue.
It is Nathan Lyon, and we will find his jingle now.
I think they're going to try for a breakthrough before they bring the policeman back, don't you?
Yeah, here he is.
He's Lion. He's not too bad, and that's true. Lion.
And Joe Root.
Joe Root will
continue.
be,
England 90 for 2 after 38 overs. 42 before the new ball becomes available. And that's tossed up and nicely driven. Oh dear, and there's a bit of misfielding. Australia falling apart, I tells you. So that's driven out to the extra cover boundary. It's going to get there. 4-1. Yay! Now this is the big fear, isn't it?
I'm looking over a 4.
Nearly every session I can think of when England have been batting, when we've come back after a session thinking, all we've got to do is survive 10 overs and not lose a wicket, followed by about 4 wickets falling in the first 6 overs, and then you just go field deflated, and that's it. Lyon comes up, tosses one up, and Root gets right forward and just defends into offside, and there's no run.
Is that a desperate attempt to make the Australian listeners stay up for the last session?
Well, it could be.
I mean, get out of bed.
It does. I can't remember apart from actually probably the last test when Root and Stokes and Butler managed to hang out after a session when you thought it was all going to go tits up. That turns a little bit into Root's pants, but the turn is gentle, reasonably slow, and pretty consistent actually. There's nothing that's kicking wildly more than anything else, so you can set yourself for that. He tips it into the leg side. He's 4 away from a half century. Denley's on 30. Is that his highest score of these series?
I feel like he made 30 exactly in another game, or very near to it.
Yes.
But we're looking at his top test score, aren't we?
No, his top test score is 69.
Did he make 60? Oh,
I
I
think
beg
it was
your pardon.
69. I think he made that in Sri Lanka, didn't he?
No, I don't think he was in the Sri Lanka.
Well, he was
squad.
somewhere and he played and he got 69. It was an away series as well. I'm pretty sure he did.
Yeah, he's made 69. His highest is 69 in tests.
And who was that against?
I'm just trying to get to.
If he leaves that one outside, it's off stump. No run. Defends forward to that one. And there is no. Someone's shouting next door. Is that Hendo?
It
Maybe
could be
not.
the football.
It could be the football.
It could be.
I hear a vague rant going on in the distance. Maybe it's just my mind making things up.
Yeah.
Denny's on 39 out. He's facing up to Lion, and he defends that into the ground. They'll run.
There are some Twitter rants to read out when,
Come
we
on.
get a chance.
Let's go to Twitter rant.
Matt Sill says Denley has had 12 play and miss plus 10 edges. That's more than a little bit of fortune. And then tweeted, "These highlights are the dullest yet sound of silence more like it." I don't know. I don't know what highlights were on.
That was the rest of the world versus West Indies.
Leah says loose bus change looks like he comes from one of the more isolated parts of the Eifel, where it is customary to marry blood relatives.
Yeah, his eyes are quite close together.
And then she sends one that I'm going to have to take great offence at. I really don't like Perstow. From what I have seen of him in presses and interviews, he comes across as a very unpleasant asshole. He's also a shit keeper and not a red ball batsman. So
Who said that?
Leah.
Oh, let me see.
So I would say, in response to that, he's a much better batsman than he comes in Test matches where he's batting too low and he's wicket keeping.
Well, I don't know if he's batting too low. To be fair,
you stop interrupting. I want to take this apart. Frankly.
Okay.
And frankly, anybody who grew up watching his dad play cricket feels incredibly fondly towards him.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Pattinson in first ball, darts away from Root, prods at it, follows it a little bit with the hands, beats his outside edge through to the keeper, no run.
So he's incredibly loved in Yorkshire. I mean, he was.
Well,
we wanted him to do well, and then the fact that he's become an even better player than his dad has been a real thing.
Does anyone call him Bluey up in Yorkshire? Because I know that was his dad's nickname.
That was his dad's nickname.
But I remember Michael Holding on commentary once saying, "He'll always be Bluey to me," even his son Johnny.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Well,
he calls him Bluey just like
Bluey
his
too.
dad.
No, he's
Yeah.
he's
He's
young
the Bluey
Johnny,
too,
he's his father's son.
Little
And
Bluey.
and the whole story of David Bairstow, he was a fantastic cricketer and a lovely bloke. And then for his post-cricketing life to go like that.
Root faces up to Pattinson, who defends that square on the offside, and there is no run.
It's a good point to make, actually, because all the hoo-ha about him being over-emotional, Johnny, about losing the gloves and people saying Butler should keep, or even folks, it clearly is a touching an emotional nerve for Johnny Bairstow because of his dad. Because his dad kept wicket, and I bet you that plays into it for him.
It probably does, but the other two are better than him.
It's
What
true,
are you
Ben.
drinking now?
This is rum and soya milk. I'll put rum in anything. I'll have some of that. Go on.
Well, rum
Go
with
on.
soy milk. I think soy milk's a bit foul.
It's delicious. I found some lovely rum in the cabinet.
Oh, that's not
listeners.
too bad, actually.
Yeah.
Let's play square on the offside. There's no run.
I've opened that cabinet, and Annie and I were having a look through it. There's all sorts in there.
Now, no, there is all
There was
sorts
a
in there.
lovely gingerbread rum that was a blend of a Trinidad and a Guyanese rum.
I know.
That's a proper blend.
Yeah.
It's really nice. So we polished that off, I think. Sorry about that.
That's all right. No, go ahead. I mean, it's been there. I mean, I saved it because, it seems criminal to me to throw away booze. So I just sort of emptied out my mum's drinks cabinet after she died.
Tell you what, I'm feeling a bit more positive here about England. But if they win this Test match, we're gonna make a cocktail of every bottle in that
Oh, my
cupboard and
word.
down it in celebration, because it means the Ashes will still be alive.
Christ. Yeah, that'll be. That's true. It will be. Pattinson in and there's an appeal. Fuck off. That hit his bat first.
Outside the line as well, I reckon.
Maybe outside the line. Well, you can review that.
Look at that face.
Pattinson, you can review that. I thought that hit the bat first.
Go on if you're really convinced. Go on.
Go on if you're really convinced.
Go on.
Come on.
Go on.
Think you're hard
Do
enough.
it.
Come on if
Do
you think
it.
you're hard enough.
Do it. And
No,
they don't.
They don't.
Seriously, there's been an awful lot of that should be out, and they've not reviewed any of
Exactly.
them. Put your bloody reviews where your mouths are.
Well, they missed two in the last game, didn't they? Let's have a look. Did it hit the pat first? I don't
Bat
know.
first.
Pat's first.
Bat first.
And anyways,
Big
Mark-
fat inside edge of bat.
Well,
if
I
not
thought
front
so.
Of the bat.
Very difficult to tell, anyway, and probably outside the line.
Is there some gamesmanship in instance like that, where Root can just scuttle off to the side and look sheepish and think, "Oh no, that was pad
it's
first,"
probably-
to try and get them to waste
It was
the review?
pad first.
Was it?
Yeah, it was pad first.
Oh, cripes.
His bat was just a little bit behind his pad. Oh,
rather than
nicely
pull him-
driven back by Root, but fielded by Pattinson on his follow through, and there's no run.
Rather than pulling faces, they should have done the review, shouldn't
Outside the line.
they?
There you
Outside
go.
the line.
And missing. Umpire's call on the outside of the off stump.
So, Leah, my last point to you, I'm going to go back to young Johnny Bairstow.
Couldn't let it lie.
I wouldn't let it lie. And
say
say, read his book, and I challenge you not to cry reading the first couple of chapters.
Really? I walked past that book in the window of my bookshop in Muswell Hill.
I make a point of never reading a sportsman's autobiography. They're
Really?
generally shite. I really
I'll tell you what, Andre Agassiz is good. That's a brilliant book, that.
Oh, yeah, I make a point
You talk about Steffi Graf and her legs in it. That's the only thing I'm interested in. Pattinson bowls to root and defends back up the track and there's no run.
I make a point of buying them for my mum at Christmas, and then I get to read them afterwards.
You sneaky.
My
bugger.
mum bought me a couple. In fact, my wife even bought me fucking... Who's the dude? Cyclist.
Chris Hoy. No. Bradley Wiggins.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bought me Brandy. Well, like, I really want... great. He won the Tour. Do I really give a shit about reading his autobiography?
Tell you what, as soon as Colin Munro's book's out, we're going to get it for you, Ben.
Yeah, who's that weirdo?
That's what it's called.
Is that what it's called?
That's what it's called, yeah. Who's that weirdo? Colin Munro bears all...
That would be a great title for a book.
It
Who's
would.
that weirdo? See? All you got to do now, Hendo, is write it. I'll write it, you sub it.
Well, Hendo's going to ghostwrite Munro's autobiography.
Oh, that's a grubber. That's a genuine grubber outside your stump at Denley. It beats pain. 4 buys!
Is 4 buys. There must be a buys jingle here. Is there?
Went through the keeper.
Through the keeper, yeah.
Number 4.
Went through the keeper. Somehow we let it through. Straight through the keeper. Went through the keeper. Gone through the keeper. That's through
You can fade it out. It goes on forever.
It's a good little song, that.
It is.
Don't Fear the Reaper, isn't it?
Don't fear the Reaper.
Blue Oyster Cult.
Blue Oyster Cult. Indeed. Nathan Lyon over the wicket. We fired it outside the off stump, and there's not so much play in the wicket for the spinners, as it's only day 3 effectively, and it's effectively day 3 morning. That was left alone by Denley outside his off stump, and there is no run. 99 for 2. Oh my word. I'm not going to say it until they get there. Played by Denley. And that's it! England have got 100. They've only got 2 wickets. Can you believe it? And Denley's made it past 30. He's on 31. Root's on 46. The Western Terriers are pissed and they're standing.
On that topic, Neil Franklin says, lay off the Western Terriers. It's adopted Jofra Archer, which means he is now invincible.
Absolutely. No. I'm not going to. I enjoy it. I think this sort of stuff is great.
Exactly. We are not dissing the Western Terriers. We are, we love
they were
Yorkshire boys.
That's clipped nicely, but straight at short leg by Rooty, and there's no one. No, when we did the World Cup and we did all the games, I loved Taunton. And Edgbaston, what's the terrace at Edgbaston? Hollistan. That was hilarious when we beat the Australians in the semi-final. They were rocking.
Oh, we mullered them, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. That was great fun. Ooh! What for, you fucking appealing for LBW?
How far
Muppet?
outside the line?
Review that. It could have been an inside edge, but Payne dropped it. And everyone else was up for an appeal. But he is miles outside the off stump. And if it's hit his pad, he was playing a shot. He cannot be out.
Is this a little sign of desperation?
I think it is. It turned quite sharply, it has to be said.
To be fair.
Beat the inside edge. No, he's way outside the line of off stump.
But it didn't hear his front pad, did it?
Oh, wow, that's a good little sweep, though. Rooty takes that back. But there's a long leg down there. Where is it there for a shot? I suppose it's outside the line. You can sweep something outside the line.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to be out OBW. As long as you don't miss it and get caught. But there isn't anyone up on the 45, so it's quite a fair straight shot. Well, turned sharply. Did turn sharply. Was he outside the line? Don't know.
Way outside the line.
Well, his front pad was, but was his leg that actually got hit? But I doubt the umpire could see it, and he assumed he was outside the line. Be interesting to see a Hawkeye on that.
Pattinson's coming back. We didn't jingle him up first time, so I think we better do that this time around.
James Lee Pattinson, he's on the mend. After back treatment that seemed without end.
Defended by Roots, up into the covers, and there's no run.
We almost despaired of seeing you once more unimpaired.
Ah, yes. He's old 6 overs.
To go briefly back to the Joe Denley thing, because I finally managed to get it on Quick Info. His highest score came in his second Test match against the West Indies.
Okay.
And he hasn't gone higher than...
Oh, beats the outside edge of Root. That's a good ball by Pattinson.
Yeah, this is his highest score in this series after a 30 at Lords.
Yeah, there you go. He's got a 26 or something as well, hasn't he? He's got to the 20s a couple of times.
No, he's do you know what?
He's James Vince.
He's got into double figures in every single Test innings he's played, except his very first.
Oh, there you go.
His first was in Antigua, wasn't it? On that horrible pitch.
Yes.
And so that 69 must have been St Lucia then. Because I don't think he played in that Barbados Test, the first of that series.
No, because we have bloody 2 spinners.
That's right, yeah.
Let's go to the fucking West Indies and play 2 spinners in a
not?
Test match. Really sensible. Fucking useless bastards. Guided by Roots out to Gully. Can't beat him. Would have raced away to 4 and it's 50, but it's not. He's on 47 not out. No run. 101 for 2 England after 41 for 3 overs. He's got 8 overs after this with an oldish ball now.
Is the pitch dying a little bit here?
Well, the pitch is dying a bit. I think it's baked a little bit in the sun. I think it will break. But you've got to think this game has gone so quickly that it's actually probably prime batting conditions now and into tomorrow. Because they lost pretty much the first day. It should start break. I mean, there is rough. I mean, what they could do is bowl round a wicket and try and get some rough outside the right-handers off stump. But the thing is, they got 2 right-handers. If it was a couple of lefties, that's played into the leg side and there's no run, then Lyon would have a lot to play with, I think, outside a left-handers off stump. Who's in next? Stokes, wasn't it?
This is the other reason Stark should be playing. I'm surprised that he isn't, because with the left-hander going over the wicket bowling, he creates a lot of footmarks at one end, and that's a different proposition then for the right-hander.
Yeah,
He's
absolutely.
got that rough there. So
Totally.
I don't know where Stark is really. Oh, there he is. Speak of the devil, he's sat there in the sun
Maybe
enjoying
he's
himself.
got a slight niggle.
Well, and actually, I don't know if they can relax really after the concussion sub. Anyone could be in at any moment, really.
Well,
it's different,
is
isn't
true.
it?
With like for like, he's not going to come in for a batsman, is he? Full, straight, driven, back past him. Little tip over the bar by Pattinson on his follow through to mid-on. There's no run.
Few tweets.
Yep.
The Ghost of Zoob says, I grew up watching Jack Hobbs's father playing cricket, but I would be reluctant to pick young Jack in the current Test side. Which I think might be a reference to my Bairstow conversation. Arthur Shire says, if Butler and Bairstow are both going to be in the side, one has to bat at 3 and the other has to keep and bat 7. Don't care which way round. If England picks Folkes, one of the JBs has to go. I think that's fair enough. I don't think you pick Folkes, and I think you play Bairstow at opening, would be my argument. I know there's a lot of people who think he hasn't got the technique, but...
Nicely clipped by Root, down to long leg, will get himself a single.
But if he's not wicket keeping and he can go out there with a licence to be aggressive, he can do a job there. Certainly couldn't do any worse than the current openers.
Oh, for fuck's sake. You know, YouTube, your algorithm is so shit. We've got a copyright claim. Right? Their rules and their regulations say that if you are using their idea of fair use and what they put on their things, when you look at them and go, what's fair usage? Basically, what they're saying is for visual things, like if you wanted to use a bit of Close Encounters of the Third Kind or anything like that, it would have to be in the sense of a meme, right? Now, I would say that every single bit of music we use in the show is a audio meme. Therefore, technically...
For comedy purposes.
Exactly. Nathan Lyon is over the wicket to Root, who just plays that short leg and there's no one. So technically, everything we use in our show should be fair use, and therefore we should be able to monetize supposedly via the YouTube algorithm. Every time, and that don't speak thing, so the Dane Pete jingle, which is clearly an audio meme because it's got me saying Dane Pete and having my voice auto-tuned in it, is picked up by their algorithm, and then they said they have a copyright claim against us. Fucking fuck off!
The bellow is back.
Jesus. Anyway, 102 for 2. Root tosses, doesn't toss that up. He's on the back foot, pushes that out square on the offside.
Was that an email?
Yeah.
What are you doing reading your sodding emails while you're commentating?
Well, because it said you've been...
Yeah, exactly. Don't read your emails while you're on there, would be my advice.
Well, they're not direct to me. I was checking it. You know, some people get in touch via email, you know. In fact, some people get in touch with us via YouTube and Facebook. Busfield, that you're supposed to be in control
am I
of.
supposed to?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but, but the
Cliff
fact that there are 79 unread comments on the video suggests to me that I'm not the only one not reading the comments.
Yeah, it's a big problem with you. We need some training, staff training. That's clipped up to mid-on and there's no run.
Yeah, okay. Well, maybe I'll undergo some before my next appearance sometime. I don't know, in about February.
Okay, fair enough. Hold on, clip by route out to a wide mid-on and there is no run.
Matt Searle says change the DRS rules so that if a side appeals that hard and are turned down, they must review the decision.
Yes.
If they are out of reviews, then tough.
Absolutely. Oh, that's thrown up outside the outside. Driven by Root. Please go to the boundary. Rooty's going to get 50. It's his first since the first test. And we've forgotten how good he is. Well, I haven't really. But
well played, Joe.
Yeah, well, really well played, Joe. Play him a jingle. I'm happy. He needs to be there at the end of this session.
Your 50 runs. Well done, well done, well done, well done. 50 runs. Your 50 runs. The job is only just begun.
And that's so true in this instance. That's beautifully played. Very fine this time by Root. Beats the man who's at long leg, sorry, and it goes down for another 4. He moves on to 56.
Hey.
Can someone bring me a beer, please?
And could someone bring me a rum and soy milk, please?
Bring him the soy milk and a bottle of rum. We'll all be fine. He'll make them.
I like that Mount Gay rum. It's good.
Yeah.
Good stuff. That.
Someone brought that in actually in the West Indies series. I think that might have been Mash.
Could have been Mash. Sorry, Mash. I'm drinking your rum.
Well, it's been in there for a while.
I'll bring in some
Someone lost
Dawleys.
the top to it as well, so I'm surprised it hasn't actually evaporated. But there you go. Lovely. Thank you very much. See.
And on that theme, Leah tweets in, if you plan on mixing every alcohol in the house, you'll need one of these, Fred. And there's a picture of what looks like a beer boot.
A beer boot.
Yeah, one of those enormous things. The Halden Gut, it says, I think, on it.
Nice.
What do you drink out of the top of the boot or the toe?
But top.
Oh, top, I think.
Well, the toe wouldn't work because it'd go everywhere, wouldn't it?
Exactly. You'd have a hole at the bottom. Everything goes down. That's a beautiful shot. Denley this time strokes that through the covers all the way to the boundary. He moves on to 35. This is what's going to happen. I'm telling you, this is what's going to happen. These two are going to serenely go through to the end of play, and everything's going to look rosy at 200 for 2. And then tomorrow morning we're going to collapse.
Carnage in the morning.
Absolutely.
Good morning, Vietnam tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This what always happens.
I don't know. Are you trying to bring on the collapse tonight instead? There's a long discussion going on Twitter about where Annie's tweeted out and asked people to discuss the fact the lack of red ball games being a huge issue for cricket players.
Absolutely, I agree. That's clipped nicely by Denley down towards long leg, bringing himself a single.
And there's a very good debate, and I'd advise if you were interested in that to go and join it. There are too many for me to keep up with it. But Steve Shipcott makes a good point. At a slight tangent, didn't I read that Australia will be playing Derbyshire between tests with a red ball, while all the counties have for the next few weeks is white ball, so sending England players back to practice will be pointless.
That's a very good point. And the Aussies played Worcestershire, didn't they? They went down to Worcestershire, had a red ball game. And what were England doing in that gap?
Having a rest.
Drinking rum and soy milk.
Yeah.
You know, that's the point. Yeah, it's a good point. I think England in this 9-day gap, all right, the Ashes might be gone already, but can't they get some kind of game, a red ball game against somebody?
Well, that's the 100 partnership up. 115 for 2. Pattinson is in, and Root's on the back foot, and guides it down to Gully, and there's no run. A lot of time left this evening as well, remember. I mean, it's not even 5 o'clock yet. This game goes on till 7, so they're going to have 2 hours. Get some miles in those legs. I mean, 2 hours, they'll be close to a new... Well, this is the thing. Tomorrow morning could be new ball time. Pretty much at the start of the day.
That's going
to be tricky. Well, theoretically, but Root should be there. Well, I say that. That's a bit pathetic.
How many
I take that back. I take that back.
Yeah, take that back.
Who knows who'll be there in the morning?
But if England are still batting tomorrow morning, these bowlers are going to have been bowling for a very long time.
Virtually 80 overs, exactly, and a whole day ahead of them. Pattinson is in are left alone outside Root's off stump, and there is no run.
And they only really have 4 bowlers.
Yes, they do only have 4 bowlers, and they've got Labuschagne.
They've got
as a
Labuschagne, and
spare.
actually he didn't bowl that bad. It was the
No,
odd
but you
pie.
can't see. Well, you see, the thing is, if England batsmen are in, you can't see them giving them a long spell.
That's quite an interesting stat on WinViz we're seeing here.
27%. That's how many people vote for them pretty much on our Twitter feed.
Yeah,
isn't it?
they're catching up with us.
They are. Australia 73%. The draw is totally out of question.
It must be the rum I'm drinking here, but I just had a shiver of imagining England actually pulling this
Oh,
off.
stop it.
Oh, it's the rum
Stop
speaking.
saying those things out loud.
Well, every once in a while, things do stick their head. I mean,
you have to tempt fate. You don't have to
well,
tempt fate.
you know, it's not the highest ever Test score to win. Pattinson in bowls.
Well, it would be England.
Yeah, it would be. Guided by Root behind square. Misfielded by Gully. Pops it out behind him, and they get through for a single.
Shall I just play Jeffrey and say let's add 2 wickets to that score?
Yeah, I know.
Pirate Badshaw tweets, I agree with the bear on autobiographies in quote marks. Though my appreciation of the genre might have been scarred by Roy Keane's, which I trudged through never again. These days I take the militant position that I'm not interested in the lives of public figures.
Well, yeah, I kind of agree. I mean, I read both of them. My mum's got me. My mum.
I read both of
them.
them. Yeah.
The Long Road or Forgive Me, Kathy, or whatever it was.
Don't Tell
You know,
Kath is one of them.
Yeah, Don't Tell Kath. I think one of them was, you know, when he's playing cricket, it's quite interesting, you know. So a few inside stories. It's just about 4 chapters that are relatively interesting. Clipped into the leg side by Denley, gets himself. No, sorry, it's Root, gets himself a single. No, it was Denley because he keeps strike. And he moves on to 37.
Leah's back for more. I'm not going to read autobiographies by people I find deeply unpleasant. I don't have the time.
Yeah.
There are far too many books by people I actually like to read, and when I'm done with all of those, I'll probably reread them.
I tell you what, though, Agassiz book is called Open, and it's the one where he describes all the incidents.
All
through
the
his
terrible
life.
things, including
The crystal meth incident
Yeah.
and all of that, and his fallout with Brooke Shields, and
yeah.
pretty early on, he just says, "I hate tennis," and he tells you all about how tennis is his least favourite thing. It's amazing. It's the best sports autobiography I've ever read, and I hope it wasn't ghostwritten. It didn't feel like it was.
Oh, I imagine it was. I imagine he narrated it into.
No, it was
dictaphone.
raw. There was kind of a rawness to it where you felt this is really coming from somewhere real. You know,
I don't know if he's that much of a writer, is he?
it could be.
Fuck You Life says, can we have more book reviews from the bear? Other cultural icons too. Could be a lunchtime arts feature.
Well, I don't read that many books.
You've got to turn them the right way up. That's why.
Well, no, the last book I properly read was Hammer of the Gods, Led Zeppelin.
Peter Lloyd
right.
says, Bear definitely considers pissed out of their heads as a positive state to be in. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Matt Searle says, does this recovery mean that we don't need to make any changes for the next test? Surely Denley and Root aren't going to save Roy, are they?
No, Roy has to go.
We've got a bowling change here. It's this man.
Paceman Pat, and his baggy green cap. Early in the morning, just before the warm-up, he has to pull out with a dodgy back.
Patrick Harmon!
And it's outside the off stump, left alone, and there is no run.
I've clearly touched a nerve. Leah tweets again. Also regarding that Pearstow autobiography, people not yet 30 should have no business releasing a biography of any kind. I kind of agree with you there.
Oh my word, Palace held on to win.
Professor Mark Weatherall tweets, end of holiday means trading Orgiva and Alhambra for Lowfell and Brewdog, and an unheard of 25 degrees C in Gateshead means some more hammock action. My newfound guerrilla cricket commentators are a constant though. Time to invest in a t-shirt for payback.
Oh yeah, please do, please do. Here comes Cummins, and inside half of the bat, played away from his pad, but he's faced 103 balls now, and he plays it up to mid-on, no run.
Would you ever do a guerrilla cricket hammock?
Oh,
I feel like that could be a good
I used to have
little earn.
I used to Mexican hammocks, properly slung Mexican hammocks, are lovely. In the sun, just lying in them.
Matt Sill says, Dane Pete jingle, I'm not aware of such a thing. Could you play it to remind us what it might sound like? Messenger says, YouTube are banning the Dane Pete jingle, thank fucking Christ.
They haven't banned it, they just give us a strike. Short, clipped to the airside, a bit aerial, through where short leg would be, but short leg has gone away.
Arthur Shah tweets,
no run.
Sorry, Arthur Shah tweets, nobody has ever dealt with YouTube monetisation without screaming fuck off, to be fair to Bear.
I hope their algorithm caught that rant there.
Oh, well, I don't know. I tried sending a letter to them. They are impossible to actually speak to in person.
John Berry tweets, what is the case against Ben Folkes as wicket-keeper? General opinion seems to be that he's a better keeper than the JBs, and he averages about 41, which must be higher than Joss, and at least equal with Johnny. Shouldn't he be a shoo-in?
Well, there is something to be said for that. As that's played out to the offside through cover. Palm gets on it, and they will only get a single. Diving Wade.
Dave Wood, I can recommend Hoggy's autobiography, especially the advice on how to keep yourself entertained on a long tour and how to avoid bowling to a set batsman.
Wonder how he did keep himself entertained on long tour.
I think you have to. I think you really do have to read the Hoggy autobiography.
Okay.
He's a weird boy. He's a very strange.
I bet he is.
We had him in once. He was really drunk. we're not
that's
here.
not that
There's right at the end of Test match sofa, and he came in after an awards ceremony, and he was in the Ashes overnight, and he came on. He was absolutely hammered. He was quite entertaining. Root is going to face up Cummins, 5th ball of the over, and he guides that down into the ground out to backward point, and there ain't no run.
I just can't believe it's 118 for 2. It's so rare that we've seen such a healthy looking.
Well, the wicket
Score.
looks quite placid, doesn't it?
Who was it on tour? It was Alan Mullally, talking of tour antics and how you keep yourself entertained. He dumped a dead shark in Mike Atherton's bed.
Yes. And he was a new boy to the team as well.
And
wasn't he?
apparently all you heard is Atherton walking into his room and going, Mullally!
Ooh, there's intent there from Nestle boy.
Dutch Bird Kate says some classic Bear since tea, splendid stuff.
Cummins is short-ish into Root to defend it into the ground. There's no run. I presume we're having a change now. And you're coming into here.
Oh, I am indeed.
And do you want to play a jingle while we switch over?
Yeah, let's play that lovely Rihanna jingle wherever it's gone. It's down here. Here it is.
Yep, you owe us all right. You think this alternative cricket commentary stuff comes cheap? Well, we need some dollar bills to help pay our bills, so please go to patreon.com/GorillaCricket and sign up to make a regular monthly donation. You know there is literally nothing like Gorilla Cricket's coverage, so don't be tight. Dip into your virtual pocket and throw some cash our way. See, Rihanna knows. Patreon.com/GorillaCricket.
I'll let you into a little secret.
Go on then, Nestlers.
That's the only Rihanna thing I've ever heard.
Really?
Yep.
You not heard Umbrella? The song Umbrella? Or Shine Bright Like a Diamond?
Nope.
Brilliant song. Or what's the one she did with Calvin Harris called?
Don't ask me.
Don't ask me either.
She's all right, really. Pattinson's in, straight of all, and Denley falls over himself a bit but deflects it out to mid-wicket and there's no run.
There's been a lot of times when I've been on Gorilla Cricket with the jingles when I've suddenly gone, what's that? And they go, it's Justin Timberlake. And I go, that's the only time I've ever heard him. Like, I'd never heard Adele until I came on Gorilla
You've not
Cricket.
heard Sexy Back?
No.
Or Cry Me a River?
What? Oh, I heard the original.
That's not a cover, is it? Justin Timberlake.
Well, there is a very famous song called Cry Me a River.
Cry Me a River's a cover?
Well, there is a very famous song called Cry Me a River.
Who did the original?
Oh, God. Is it Ella Fitzgerald or something?
That can't be a cover. It must be just the same title. Pattinson is in over the wicket to Denley, who just ducks under one and goes slightly down the leg side and is taken by the keeper. And there's no run. To my left, Steve has been replaced with Steve. That is Busfield being replaced with Jones.
Indeed.
Hello, Steve.
Good afternoon, everybody.
He's going to be taking you through some tweets, so keep them coming in. And it is, of course, Nestle Boy to our right. And the Dane Pete jingle was requested, but I just don't. I'm so lost on the policy on whether we're allowed to play it.
Well, the policy is we can do what we bloody like.
Uh-oh. Nestlers is in the
He's
jingle
in,
chain.
yeah.
You know what that means,
He's
listeners.
under control.
We might have a vintage throwback classic session.
Oh, why not? Absolutely.
Pattinson is in, and that's on a length just outside off, but easily swatted away into the leg side by Denley. Well fielded, and Australia lose another single. I'm putting it that way round.
Yes, I
want to try and get into their heads somehow. They lose another single. It's 119 for 2.
Little bit of news. Leah says, get on that review train, Bear. And Durban Oak United lose at home. Well, at least there's one decent result today. Lots of smiles at Gorilla Cricket at United 1, Palace 2.
Again, we've got enough time left tonight in this test match, but I don't think we're going to get a result today, which means for you listeners, you get to come and join us again tomorrow morning, which is good news. Root is facing up again to Pattinson, who is in, and that's swirling just past off stump, but Root comes forward to it and plays it out to the man at short point, and there's no run.
The book reviews section of Guerrilla Cricket, commenting from Sam Gilbert. The Simon Hughes book, A Hard Lot of Yakka, is a must-read.
Is it really?
Tweaking, but I can't even read them. Don't hold me 'cause it hurts.
Pattinson is in outside off, but that's well driven by Root. Open the face of the bat, plays it out to the man at point, and there's no run. Well fielded.
Do you like that?
I did like it. I didn't quite realise the auto-tune would be that all over the place. So that's the bear, is it?
That's the bear and his kids.
Fantastic.
I believe.
Now I know why you all love it, because I love it too. There you go.
Hey, Summit.
Yes, Dad?
I've got something to say.
Uh-huh.
I really love the skillful way you beat the other players to the lunch buffet.
Defended away by Root.
For the first time this series you ran it. The cheese board's now ours, so let's scram it. But please don't take pomegranate. I've one thing to say, and that's damn it, Summit. There's Irish stew. Your belly's no longer like granite. The corset's not working, let's can it. Your moves are approaching Titanic. I've one thing to say, and that's damn it, Summit. There's Duff on crew. Andy Flower thinks that you're a joker, and you need to share the stone or two. But your diet plan is mediocre. So SAMIT, let's try a poo-a-oo. Oh, this jingle's nicer than Ravi Bopo High.
Oh, Dad.
Now I'm full up and I'm so glad.
Oh, Dad.
That I could kick you in the gonads.
Oh, Dad.
Cummins is in, and it's defended away by Deadly down the ground. There's no run. Steve.
Yes.
That was good fun, wasn't
Crikey,
it?
Munich, you are sorely missed.
Roger Melly. Hoggy's got a bit of bojo about him. Opens his mouth before engaging his brain.
And a nice brush of blonde hair on top of his head.
Indeed, yeah. Neil Franklin, again part of the Guerrilla Cricket book review section. Somebody once asked if Goffey's autobiography came with the crayons to colour it in with.
Going back to the Agassi book is brilliant.
You've read it. It is good, isn't it?
As sports books go, and I know I'm a tennis fan, but it is fantastic.
Cummins is in, wider on the crease, and that's left alone by Denley. It did tail back a little bit, but it was just hitting perhaps fifth stump, something like that, and so he got away with it, no run.
It's more a story about him and his dad rather than tennis, isn't it, in some ways? You know, the way his dad treated him.
Oh yeah, I mean,
you know,
the Dragon, didn't they call it? The machine? His dad souped up this machine that fired tennis balls at him in the backyard, that concrete tennis court shaped garden, and every day after school from the age of about 2 or 3 he'd be machine gun tennis balls all evening. and so then when he says, oh, I hate tennis, you think, I know why now.
I know why, yeah.
But he became the greatest returner in the world for that reason. Dug out by Denley, out to mid on, and there's no run.
Roger Melly suggesting, normally when there's a big shake there's some time pressure. This time it's different. There's plenty of time to dig in and play good old-fashioned test cricket. Yeah, we're down to 40 runs a session. That's all we need now.
We're quite kind of watching a bit of good old-fashioned test cricket, aren't we? But,
it is fascinating that every match is slightly different, and now time is irrelevant, and hence why Winviz says it's a 0% chance of a draw.
Little reference back to Nestler's here from Kate Holdsworth. With you there, Nestler's. Never heard of most of this music muck.
Hey, Dutch Bird, how you doing?
Outside,
long time no tweet.
Outside off stump from Cummins and left well alone by Denley, no run.
And Les, the answer is a yes, so the changeover means that I can look at the YouTube stream again safely. Busfield is not here anymore.
He's not, and I bet you he's still topless though.
He will be.
He's having a whale of a time.
Boom, boom.
Steady.
The beef that is Busfield.
Darren makes here, if it's classic jingles, then it has to be Brendan McCullum's Pretty Please.
Okay.
Cummins at the top of his mark, steams in again, slightly wide on the crease. That is shorter.
Don't get a 4.
Aimed at the sternum of Joe Denley, but he rises up to the challenge, meets the ball and knocks it down to fine leg. Sneaks another run. Denley going about his business nicely enough, 40 off 113 balls. And Joe Root will take the last ball of the over.
That was a nasty little ball actually, got in that pre-tee session where it just reared on him, but nothing else seems to have done anything of that ilk.
Yeah, and I wonder...
It's all gone very flat, isn't it?
Well, this pitch, banging it in seems to be a legitimate tactic, but you can't do it all day because...
But you've got to do it so far back, you know, the batsmen have got plenty of time just to duck and sway.
Well, it's got to still be the surprise ball, hasn't it? And I think that's what the Aussies are trying to do, if they're trying to do anything anymore at the moment. And Root falls over himself a little bit, but gets his head over the ball, defends it well enough. 57 he is, off 130. That's the end of the 47th over. 120 for 2.
As it's on request half hour on GCFM.
Brendan McCullum, he don't like to run him, just smashes him into the crowd. The way that he bats and his collection of tats that should not be allowed. Nobody looked any finer. He gives off a Kiwi's acute angina when he's caught on the boundary, stupidly chasing a wide. Whoa, and they're left waving Brendan McCullum goodbye. Whoa, whoa.
That's fabulous.
Brendan McCullum.
Yeah. That's very well sung as well. Who did that one?
Professional. That's our stand-up comedian friend, whose name escapes me at the moment.
Pattinson is in, Fuller, but driven by Denley to the man at mid-off, well fielded, no run.
Well, following in the jingles, Matt Searle, vintage jingle session ? At one stage my kids had no idea who Tim Bresnan is, but they knew he bowls and he bats and he used to be fat and he's from Pontefract.
Do you know that I sent this to him and he loves it?
This is a good lad.
Yeah, he came back and said, that is brilliant, I'm playing it in my car.
Lair being a bit factual here, diamonds don't shine, Fred, they merely reflect and refract light.
They do if Rihanna's singing about them, Leah, and you know it. Pattinson is in, just full of a length, and Denley deals with it well enough, covers up, no run.
Messages, hi there matey, hope you're well. You will get the YouTube feed taken down if you keep playing the Piet jingle. YouTube have recorded a hit against you already for it.
Oh dear.
Oh, hang on, that's exactly what Bear was ranting about.
Was it?
Why didn't I stop you?
Oh well.
He said the algorithm picked it up or something. Even that can't be right though, can it?
It does sound too
Because
technical.
it's don't
Algorithms,
speak.
that's a long word for me.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, it's lucky you're doing the job that requires reading again, Steve,
Yes.
isn't it? Pattinson at the top of his mark.
No one tweet algorithm.
No, or tweet it in German, Leah.
Yeah.
Just a challenge, Steve. Pattinson is in. That's shorter, but no pace in it really. Kind of dies away, and Denley just jabs the bat down, and there's no run. None for 20. Pattinson off almost 10 overs.
Roger Melly suggesting, amongst other things, this is a captaincy test for pain in the arse.
Well, I think he's captained pretty well, actually. I mean, he'll wish he'd made some runs with the bat, you know, and hadn't dropped a couple this series. But,
yeah, it's easy to captain when the other side of batting, like.
Well, absolutely, yeah. And it's easy to captain when you've got such a good bowling attack. They're subbing them in and out each match and pulling out fast bowlers from nowhere, you know.
And he hasn't even played Stark.
Right, absolutely, yeah.
Extraordinary, really.
It does make it a much easier job to do as Pattinson is in, hangs the ball outside off, and Denley does a lightsaber leave, as we like to call it now. And there's no run.
Lou Brittensack, loving the old jingles.
Yeah, and Nestlers is full and silent because he's tapping away on the keyboard to see what he can dig out next. So
I'm a bit distraught here.
Uh-oh. Yeah. What's happened?
Well, the Tim Bresnan jingle seems to have disappeared.
He's looking for Bresnan.
Tim Bresnan's probably kept it, won't give it back.
Yeah.
We're giving it to him.
It's
Matt Searle says, I've never heard the Samet jingle before, but it really is genius. 2 exclamation marks.
Well, you know, you can all get these if you go onto Patreon or download the jingles, the archive.
Better ball from Pattinson, just moving it a little bit in the air, trying to roll his fingers on it a little bit.
There's a theme going here, Nestlers. Kate Holders says, keep Nestlers on jingles forever. Ravi, Pop and Ian Bell next, question mark.
Well, the Ravi one I did earlier.
We did Ravi earlier, didn't we?
Yeah.
We haven't heard Ian Bell.
Oh, well, there's various.
Well, we're about to get to the end of another over.
Yeah.
They're going to just block out Pattinson. They seem to have dealt with him pretty well.
Mark Ziv also asking for the Ian Bell jingle, please, Nestlers.
Which one, though?
Well, some players have several, don't they?
Indeed, and Ian Bell does.
Pattinson is
Ian Bell was that good.
charging in again. The sun just nicely cooking the top of his head. And that's always hit something. It's squirted away. Was it a leading edge? But it's safe. It's gone through second gully region. And yes, it's going to be a leg bye to Denley. So he remains on 40. That's the end of the 48th over, 121 for 2. And the target still is 359, as it would be.
Some of these jingles are not here. I'm going to have to speak to the bear because I think the bell jingle. We've got the Anita Ward one, but we did play that earlier. You Can Ring My Bell, which we all danced to. It's one of those songs you can't not move to, isn't it?
You haven't seen me in a disco, Nestlers.
No. I don't think I probably ever will.
No. We will dream forever, Nestlers.
Does that make you a disco fan, Steve?
Absolutely not. That's the whole point. No.
Okay. Cummins is in. Outside off stump, left alone by Denley, who's playing an excellent game of patience here, and there's no run.
John Perry, while we're having a nostalgia fest, can I request Ravi Bafara for recent listeners like me intrigued by your constant mentions of it?
Really?
We'll have it again in a minute.
Okay.
Why not? And then get it out of our system.
Another good one from Leia saying, so maybe Mullally put a shark in Atherton's bed, but today he just tweets his support of Trump from his mom's Australian basement, while Athers is, Athers. So who really had the last laugh?
Is that Mullally treating support for Trump? Is that
Apparently so, yeah. So I read that. I certainly wasn't Athers, was it?
Cummins is in, outside off Denley. Leaves it extravagantly, no run. And this game is, to the untrained eye, petering out, but it's just getting a little bit exciting, isn't it? Slow grind, slow burn. Let's see if the Aussie bowlers fall apart. It looks like they've been a little bit more desperate with those reviews and charging in. Okay, they didn't actually use any of the reviews, but looks like they're desperate to snap at any chance now, and that's the kind of thing that can give you hard hands in the field, and you drop one, and I kind of hope they do drop one.
Yes, it'd be good, wouldn't it? It's good to see those Aussies a little bit on the back foot here, actually.
Yeah, they're not quite used to it this series. It's Cummins is in, and that is flicked away.
I'm not. That's for sure.
By Denley, he does an extraordinary kind of Cockney walkabout down the pitch there.
He's developed a really strange sort of zigzagging start.
Yeah,
isn't
or was it a Lambeth walk? But he's fended it away down to long leg and will get a single. Although was it given as leg buys? Because they've kept Denley on 40, and I'm not sure why. I didn't see the umpire signal or anything there, so that may be a mistake on the scorecard. It clearly, I thought he fended that way with his bat. Maybe it just flicked off the pad down to long leg. So possibly a leg buy.
Dave Wood, how can we pay homage to At Pride Munich and not play the Luke Wright jingle?
Luke Wright through me, is that it?
Yeah, that's what he said. Just Luke Wright, but I didn't know the rest of it.
Well, Grubby was talking about Luke Wright through me yesterday, so I don't know if that's one that is in existence or is a request from him.
Sounds like it.
Why don't you like disco then, Steve? I bet you can dance. I bet you can shake your hips once you get moving.
I can give him a little bit, but I'm too old for it, so it came in the 70s, and by that time I'd already got into the Beatles, Eagles and all that sort of stuff, so it was a big step down.
Beatles, not the Stones.
And Stones, yeah, all that.
I went to Eel Pie Island about a month ago. It's fascinating there. Yeah, the Stones played there. It's down in Twickenham, and it was a rock history. They used to play at the hotel that's now not there anymore because it burnt down. Excellent little adventure. You can make it down to Eel Pie.
And a proper museum, or you just?
Well, it's the museum is on the mainland, as it were, but the island only opens twice a year, and it's an arts commune and a working shipyard. Fascinating stuff. I bet they had a good
small ships. I presume.
Good boogie there. No, full-sized, massive Dutch barge there. About 100-foot Dutch barge.
How big's the island then?
Oh, there's about 100 people living on it. It's like a little sliver in the Thames. Anyway, Cummins is back. We had a little delay. I'm not sure quite why. They were sorting someone out. Oh, it was a helmet. Someone is back at short leg. That's fended away by Root into the leg side. Easy single. Does look quite easy for England at the moment.
Oh, shush.
It does, though.
Stop.
We've got to tell it how it is. We can't.
If you can't tell it as when it is, you never can. Brendan Baldwin. Enjoying coverage of the Ashes live from Philly, Pennsylvania. Good cricket analysis. Terrible music taste.
Well, this is the jingles. We don't pick them. They get sent to us.
A short leg and a square leg here for Denley. I think that ball that we've seen banged in from Cummins is their only hope, and he does do just that. But he flicks it to the right of short leg, past the gully. There's a man at long leg who's going to tidy it up. But Denley gets a single and gets off strike, and that will really annoy the Aussies because they put that man there and they just wanted 3 or 4. They just wanted 3 or 4 at him. Bang it in, see if he can flap at one or something, but no, he's played it well.
He's playing unflappably.
He snuck into the 40s while we weren't looking there.
Yeah,
have you noticed that?
Highest score of the series as well.
Yeah, it's the hope that kills you, as they say.
So you found what jingle did you find there?
I've got Ravi Papara teed up, and I've got Luke Wright.
At the end of this over, we'll do one of them and have some more tweets. How about that? As Cummins is in a bit wider on the crease again, short this time to Root, but he plays it very well indeed. Actually, just turns his whole body round and gets enough bat on it. Pinches the strike because he's got a single. That's the end of the 49th over. We're 125-4-2, and we're going to have jingles and tweets.
Hello, I am a cricket ball, and I would like to sing you a song. In my head I want to drown my sorrow. Look right through me, look right through me.
That is the Luke Wright jingle, and this is the famous Ravi Papara.
I'm Ravi Papara. You're listening to testmatchsofa.com. They're not as funny as they think they are.
Well, Ravi Papara, he's a batter, like Ian Bell but delicater. Ravi Papara, he's a batter, like Owe Shah but a little bit better. Ravi Papara, he's a batter and a useful medium pace ball.
Hazelwood in right on the money outside off in the corridor, and there's no run.
Against shit teams, against the good ones he gets just 15. The way he gets out is sometimes obscene, but his kit is always so pristine. Oh, Ravi Papara, he's so dashing, when on occasion a six he's bashing, but mostly stroke play he's a hashing at the crease, at the crease, at the crease.
And that was the man himself at the start of that jingle.
Did you say you sent it to him, or was that someone else?
Tim Bresnan.
Oh, right. Hazelwood is in, and Root goes back on his crease a little bit, almost gets caught out by it, but gets the bat down on it, trickles away, and there's no run.
No, Tim Bresnan, on the Twitter, I think it was. I sent it to him, and he tweeted back going, "This is brilliant." Who are you? Who are you?
Who are you?
Good old Brez.
Who are you?
Any tweets?
Yeah, Leah just wanting to confirm, I actually hate Rihanna's music with all my heart, Fred. So that's cleared up. Chris says, Vaughan free, please. Well, obviously another request. Wait for this ball.
Hazelwood is in, tails in a little bit, but Root blocks it away, head over the ball, holds the pose for the cameras. Very well played, no run.
Ian Hawke is requesting her West Yorkshire hero Tim Bresnan jingle as she's listening but can't get to the keyboard.
I can't find it.
We're looking, we promise. Lou Britton sacked. Tom Payne shout out. Found out yesterday he came to Banbury, Oxfordshire 5 years ago to coach girls' cricket team. My mate's daughter on said team. What a nice guy he was, I'm told. Tim Payne, obviously, not Tom.
Root taps his bat by his foot, 59 not out, and holding all the cards in this innings because no one's looked close to getting him out. That's another squirted shot away to gully, and there's no run. It'd be great if he could just knuckle down and stay there until the morning. Have a good night's sleep and at least take some positives from this match.
Yes. Good afternoon, Stuart Smith. Glad you found us. Listening here in Bordeaux for the first time. I was there about 2 weeks ago. How have I not come across you before? Brilliant stuff. Can I have a shout out to Bordeaux Giscard's cricket club who try to play a bit here in southwest France?
Yes.
There you go. Your shout out.
Shout out to Bordeaux Cricket Club.
Yeah.
Is that their name?
Bordeaux Giscard.
Giscard Cricket Club. Have a glass of red on us.
Yes.
Does that mean I'm paying for it?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, bill me. Blocked away by route into the leg side.
Send us
there's
your
no run.
PayPal account details.
It's a vintage glass as well.
Oh God, how much does that set me back? me and my big mouth.
Hey.
Bet it's good wine down there though. Winviz is telling us England have gone up to 30%.
Really?
And they're crawling up slowly on the Winviz.
Yeah, Roger sent a joke in, but I won't read that out. But it's very good, Drew. Roger, thank you very much.
Is it rude?
A little bit.
Okay.
Andrew Colon commenting on Annie's article in the Cricket magazine and saying how good it is.
Just as she walks into the room.
Absolutely.
Hazelwood on the money again, and Root
Andrew Colon
blocks him away straight back.
replying to you. So.
You're right, Annie. How you doing? Are you about to be on? You're just wandering.
Over.
When-
Toilet's next door, Annie.
Wending, as the Bear would say. Yeah, I didn't know. I'm losing track again of what time it is because it rained on the first day. No one knows when tea's supposed to be and when close of play is supposed to be.
6:25.
Is that right? Well, yeah, that's the time now.
Oh.
No, that's 5:25.
5,
now.
sorry.
Oh.
Even I don't know what time it is.
You're on Bordeaux time, aren't you, Nestless?
I am.
Spank me with a rotten fish.
Yeah, okay, Steve, I will.
Sends a little text, a little tweet through. Said bored ass FUCK in Qatar and stuck here for months. Poor you. At least the cricket is staving off the boredom for a few days. Cheers for the commentary. It's our pleasure. Spank me
with a rotten fish.
Yeah.
Okay, Ness. It's like, I've done it again.
What?
You said spank me with a rotten fish.
Mark Zip. Just wait for this ball.
Cummins is in, and his 14th over. We've had 50, and that's ducked under by Denley. They're still going short at him, still persisting, and he refuses to lose that battle.
Mark Zip, just a little clarification for you Nestlers here. The Ian Bell one we all want is the long one. That's why
That just
banned it.
That just goes Bell. Yeah, I can't find it.
That sounds
Oh,
like it's
go.
not worth reviving,
Yep.
to be honest, that one.
Well, I'm still trying to find the Tim Bresnan one.
News from Durban Oak. He's just flicked over to see the footy and seen Emery being interviewed with far too much hair product on. Well, he's always like that.
He likes a bit of hair product.
Who? Henri?
The manager
Oh, I see.
of Arsenal.
I see.
Emery.
Denley ducks under another one. 86 miles an hour from Cummins. Going short. Short leg, square leg.
Another request, Nestlers from Messi Jez. Carl Abbott, Nestlers, and Mortizer.
Hang on.
No, Mortizer, we've done that.
Yeah,
surely.
Yeah.
I found it.
What have you found?
Bresnan.
Okay, well, we've got a few balls left in this
That's
over.
right.
So.
I'll, after this over, you'll have the delights.
Bresnan had a fascinating stat about him. Doesn't he hold the record for most wins in a row in Test cricket or something? In that period where England got to number one.
Really?
And they've just made that film The Edge about it, which I still haven't seen. Bresnan, whenever he was in the team, England managed to win.
It was not consecutively then. So
Well, he went in and out of the side, but whenever he was in
England
the
didn't win,
side,
yeah,
they'd
right.
win. Down
Brilliant.
leg side by Cummins, and Denley leaves it well alone.
A big thanks to Leah just confirming, yes, Mullally seemingly really likes Trump and he lives in his mum's basement. But to be fair to him, he seems to be seriously mentally ill. And Leah confirms she was always the Who type of girl.
That shark story, dumping a dead shark in Atherton's bed, they must have been in quite a nice hotel, you'd think, right? How does he get a dead shark through the doors of the hotel? Doesn't a bellboy clock it and go, excuse me, sir?
I was going to say, ask Led Zeppelin. They did it.
Did they as well? Oh, God.
Oh.
Slashed by Denley over the man at short cover. It's going to trickle all the way to the boundary. A nice shot. He's come out of his shell again. 4 runs.
4. Good God, yeah.
He's just timing it, isn't he, Denley? He's just hunkering in, waiting for the bad ball. It was too wide, and thank you very much. It's brilliant batting. You've got to hand it to him.
That's what we want to see.
Richard Peel with a bit of a request here. Never mind requesting jingles. Pony up $20 for the archive viewing rates.
Yeah.
You don't know just how much work they take to say, pay the gorillas, you bastards. Part us with your money. And Matzel has it.
Cummins is in, flicked away, down towards long leg by Denley. This one did get the bat, I'm pretty sure. Is that going to go all the way? No, it's well stopped on the boundary by Pattons. And they get back for 2. Denley moves on to 47. We've still got 1 ball left of this over.
Matzel, I have a copy of the Bresnan jingle downloaded if you want me to email the copy.
No, I found it. Thank you.
He's found it, yes.
I think I have.
Well, we'll have
hang on.
We'll have it after this over. Hang on, that boundary rope moved.
That's a 4.
That could well be a 4. His right trainer has flicked the boundary there. Yeah, that's a 4. That's 4 runs. So Denley will be happy about that.
Does that take him to his 50?
It doesn't quite. I think that takes him to 49. Yes.
Yeah.
49. Denley off 128.
And the Western Terrace giving the fielder some encouragement, I think.
Getting some shits from some penguins in the crowd there as Cummins comes in. Ooh. Sure, and that's clipped something, has it?
No.
Maybe it just brushed the helmet. He didn't periscope it, but he didn't play it very well at all, Denley. He's got away with it, though. It was a good one-handed take by Tim Payne behind the stumps. That's the end, though, of the 51st over. And what signal is that from Joel Wilson? Did he say no ball? No. Saying hit the head? That isn't in the umpiring manual, Joel Wilson.
I've
Sorry.
never seen that.
That's one of the ones they teach you not to do.
One off the shoulder, sort of back signal.
Yeah, but that's not. He's just making it up now. It's like he was doing Agadoo or the Birdie song.
Well,
he's a disco boy.
Talking of which,
he bowls and he bats and he used to be fat. He's from Pontefract. He's never too flash. His first wicket was Nash and he's got no moustache. He loves to relax and he's
sorry, I thought that was the end of the over.
Is this a long one?
It is now.
That is the end of the over, blocked away by Cummins. It must have been a no ball, the ball before that Wilson was singling. Don't know why he was touching his head while he was doing it, as if he was going to lift off his hat.
That threw me, the fact that it was a no ball or not.
And he's got no moustache. And he's got no moustache. He loves to relax. And his son is coming. And that's my facts. About he bowls and he bats. He used to be fat. And he's from Pontefract. He bowls and he bats and he used to be fat. And he's from Pontefract. He's never too classy. First wicket was Nash and he's got no moustache. He loves to relax and his son is called Max. And that's all my facts about Brisbane. He bowls and he bats and he used to be fat. And he's from Pontefract.
And I can just imagine Tim Brisbane in his car laughing as he played it.
Driving to work every day with it on. Again, Hazelwood puts it on a good length and a good line, and Root just defends it away.
I think Silver Humber sums the situation up very well. Still here, still for 2, still insanely hopeful.
Yeah. Well, keep that insanity going.
Farrong, next hour should be interesting. Old ball, long shadows, pitch on the slower side, and Yanks can't understand this great game. Cheers for Dakar.
We're just sitting in here, almost submarining along. Under the surface.
Submarining, that's a great phrase for cricket.
They are, they're under there somewhere, lurking in this match. And that nearly streaks through! Oh no, big appeal! And just as I say it, Root is, I think he's hit that, and I think Root thinks he's hit that.
And they're going upstairs.
Gaffney has given it. Big appeal from Hazelwood. And
a bit of a grim, isn't he?
Yeah, well, it hit pad and it hit bat, but in what order? That's the question. That's what I think. And then, was it outside the line? Was he too far down the crease? I don't know. We'll see the replay. We are, of course, having an umps review here.
I was definitely in. Were you definitely in?
Outside the line at the... Yeah.
Big inside edge. Joe Root survives. He's alive, everybody. He's alive.
That was a dreadful decision.
Yeah, what a shit bit of umpiring.
Poor
wasn't even going to hit the stumps.
Yeah. Joe Root shakes his head. He's had a few, hasn't he, Joe Root, in this series, where the umpire's determined to give him out, and he just goes, no! And he clings on.
No.
Well, that's a relief. I didn't jinx him. He's still there, and still 2 down, submarining along.
Submarining nicely, yeah.
Are you submarining along there on the tweets?
A little bit of down memory lane here from George Shufflebottom. Never does the Headingley test pass without me thinking of Jim Bowen, the bin man from the early 90s in front of the Western Terrace.
Cummins is in, and another good line. He's very accurate. Sorry, that's Hazelwood. Did I say Cummins?
You did.
Hazelwood is in.
It's that time of day.
It is that time of day. I've had too much rum and soya milk. Root defends away, still on 59. There's no run.
Rum and soya milk.
Delicious.
Yeah.
Do you know, I'm a bit annoyed with you, Manuel, because I thought you were a good waiter. You're good enough to bring Bear a beer. And I said rum and soya milk, and you went, no one drinks that. He's only joking.
No,
I
exactly.
wanted one. I'm parched.
I heard it, and I thought, what's he talking about?
I've got to doing all this talking. I need some lubricant. You know, I'm not talking about the Vaseline. Here's Hazelwood in again, same line, similar length, and Root just nurdles it away on the offside. He's going to trot through to get to his 60 runs.
See, what they're doing now is playing proper Test cricket, which they haven't been doing all series.
They are playing proper Test cricket, and suddenly...
Sorry, I just switched over to TMS.
Yeah.
Oh, now, Jeffrey.
Adam Kite, a fellow GC listener in Bordeaux, ? Hooray for the newly expanding Giron Gorilla fan club. Lovely part of the world as well.
I wonder how many bottles of wine they've just bought on my bank card down there in Bordeaux
Swine.
Cricket Club. Who knows? Hazelwood wider on the crease, angles it in fuller, and it's driven into the ground by Denley and well stopped
Look on the
with
bright
the left hand of Hazelwood.
Look on the bright side, Fred. It'll be lovely, lovely wine.
It would be. Do you know, I had a glass of wine the other day. It was me and my lady's anniversary, and I never drink wine. Technically allergic to the sulfites. But it never really caused me that much problem. I had a glass of red in a tapas bar. It was delicious. And I thought...
It does tend to be nice.
I thought I could get into this.
What was the tapas like?
Oh, it was delicious. We had 8 different dishes, you know. Salmon.
It's a lovely way to eat food, isn't it?
Crab, avocado. Yeah, you just pick at it. And Denley picks that ball from Hazelwood, blocks it away. He's not worried about getting to his 50 in any time at all. And that's the end of that over. It means we're going to have a changeover. So much like the tapas restaurant, you get a lot of different dishes here on Gorilla Cricket, and you're going to get a bit of a dish in the form of Gorilla Hendo. He's coming on next after this.
The best things in life are free. Just like Gorilla Commentary, we need money. That's what I want. Gorilla Cricket. We need money. I don't like the BBC. I prefer Gorilla Commentary. I want money. $20 for the archive. That's what I want.
And as I said, I think it was about 11:30 this morning. Please buy a T-shirt. They're still available. They are in our merchandise store on our website, gorillacricket.com.
No, those ones aren't. You're talking about that? Well, you can buy those ones.
Yeah, normal ones.
Oh, right. A special World Cup T-shirt is still available if you get in touch with us.
A special World Cup is still
limited
available.
edition.
Limited edition. You can still get it if you get in touch with us, but you have to be very quiet and careful about it and DM us and give us your address because you know, they don't like the fact that we use their trophy. Anyway, moving swiftly on. Denley is on 49. Root is on 60. Yeah, although the big ones were not quite big enough for me.
You need an exercise up, huh?
Yeah, I would do.
There's a quadruple XL.
Is there? I might have to go and look for that one. Onto the back foot goes Root. He's facing a new over, or a new spell, from Nathan Lyon.
Nathan Lyon?
Indeed.
Nathan Lyon!
Richard Peel's going to kick Brendan in Philadelphia's arse.
Oh yeah, for complaining about the music taste.
On the rocky steps.
Lyon, number 31, he's into a 12th over. He's in, bowls to Root. Root gets right forward and with bat placed firmly on the ground, defends it, blocks it back to the bowler.
Tony Bishop's tweeted in.
I liked his tweet, it's brilliant.
Watford lost to Middlesex, lost. I'm angrier than Manny with his arm in a wasp nest.
Come on, Rooty and Denley, that's what he was saying. He's hoping to be in tomorrow for more fun. Paddle sweep from Root, who puts his head down. He wants to run back for a second. I don't think he should go because Hazelwood is to that quickly at long leg. And wisely, Root stays where he is. He moves to 61.
Steve says Joffre to hit the winning runs tomorrow.
That would be nice. Although I'd rather read, I don't know, Stokes to hit the winning runs, simply because it would mean there were less wickets down, and I'd feel more confident. Joffer, it's getting a bit tight and squeaky bummish, isn't it? Onto the front foot goes Denley and pushes into the offside. There is no run.
Lou Britton Sack says, if a miracle happens, I guarantee my 20, I think, to the archive, etc. Who else?
Yes, who else? Come on, get your money. Put
Yeah,
your
how much
money
are you
where
going to
your
give us if a
mouths-
miracle
where
happens?
your mouths are. Lyon in. He's got a short leg and a slip. And Denley caresses this down through a vacant mid-on and will collect a second Test 50. And hey, let's give him some credit. He's battled it out today when England slipped to 15 for 2. He may have saved his Test career into the bargain. A second Test 50 in 6 matches, which actually doesn't look that bad when you consider it. But well done, Joe Denley. Sometimes he's been a little bit unlucky when he's been looking good. He hasn't perhaps looked quite so good today, but he has got a 50.
50 runs, your 50 runs. Well done, well done, well done, well done. 50 runs, your 50 runs. The job is only just begun.
Final ball of the over is defended from inside the crease by Root, right on his stumps. It threatens to dribble back onto his stump, so he uses the bat a second time to keep it out.
Tim Pritchard is listening in Japan, 1:30 a.m. Very rarely get a chance to drink at home, but I'm on my second Guinness in honour of the new improved mental strength of England. It's the hope that kills you.
Yeah, well, Annie and I were talking about that in the green room a few minutes ago. I just got this sudden surge deep in my gut, and it is deep in my gut because it's a deep gut.
Well, David Watkins unfortunately can't leave his kitchen.
Well, I quite agree with that. Well, you know, I started to hope, but I didn't want to verbalise that fact, but I did. And then Annie, a few minutes later, said exactly the same thing. England are 137 for 2. The target is 359. They've still got 222 to do. But Hazelwood into Denley on 50. 3 slips, no gully, wide of the off stump, and he might have gone after that in another innings. But he sensibly leaves it alone, the tempter outside off stump.
David from Newport, South Wales, first time listener. I've been in the kitchen since you started. I'm scared if I leave the kitchen we'll lose the wicket, you bastards. Sorry, David.
It's not our fault.
Well, you've got everything in there. You've got drink, you've got food, you can always pee in the sink.
You've got gorilla cricket.
Not left, not right, but forward says, can you do a jingle for the US presidential candidates? Andrew Yang is the man. No, not left, not right, but forward. I like that Andrew Yang fella. I think he's all right.
Here is Hazelwood again into Denley, and Denley leaves again to a foolish length ball outside the off stump. But keeper it goes.
I don't get a vote.
You don't.
Roger Millie says, fuck me, how could you not see that inside edge? Yeah, exactly, we did.
Well, this is the thing I wonder about bowlers, and I know there's this old adage that fast bowlers aren't that clever. But by the time you've got into your follow through, you're maybe 12 yards away from the batsman. How can you not see? Unless you're still looking at the ground because your head's dropped. And then why would you be appealing anyway then? I don't understand it.
Lots of people complaining. Durban Oak, Alec Payton, Roger Millie.
In again, hit him on the pad. Now that is close.
No,
and this time Chris Gaffney says no. And I thought that was very close. Really seemed to spear in off the pitch. They're having a think about that.
You're not allowed to get him out.
Well, Usman Khawaja at mid-off is saying that's a bit high, isn't it? And we're down to 5 seconds and they're not going to review. And I think they should have reviewed that. This could be a let-off for Joe Denley and for England.
Was it a bit high, Hendo?
Maybe.
Bounce,
But it really speared in, didn't it?
Bounce.
Well, it's hit him on the back pad.
Well, it's hit him on the thigh, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's hit him on the thigh. The back leg is what I was trying to say. Could he have got outside off stump there?
Too high.
Yeah, maybe height.
Yeah, it's just too high.
That didn't look good. Well, is it? Yes, good decision in the end. It is going over by 3 or 4 inches. It just had that look of out about it. In he comes, renewed with vigour, Hazelwood, and bowls one outside the off stump, which Denley ignores.
Our man in Bordeaux, Stuart Smith, says, we play cricket at Chateau Giscords in the Margaux appellation.
Lovely.
It's the 3rd growth property. We have very generous hosts. I think they get a lot of free wine.
Do they have to... I bet there's a few hills to overcome. You have to run up a big slope, I imagine, to bowl.
Brian 001, New England supporters must be a lot happier now. Root and Denley are doing a great job and a 3rd way into the chase.
Well, to be honest, this is the least we expect of England, so I don't want to get carried away by this. Hazelwood in, bowls. This time Denley leaves again sensibly. And it goes through quite low this time, just 83.5 miles an hour, that last ball.
Neil Franklin says, more characters of old Headingley. Arthur off the paper stall and Mr. Yummy Yummy, the ice cream man. He was a Polish miner who worked at Askern Pit.
Ah, I didn't know that.
No. Oh no, Roger Money says, I don't want to jinx it, but
yeah.
I wonder what the lowest first innings score that resulted in a win is.
You've done it now.
Mark Zip says, if the miracle happens, I'll match contributions made before the end of the match up to $150.
Oh, good stuff. Come on, Miracle. Forward comes Denley. This was straighter. He managed to get his bat in front of his pad this time and blocked it with a full face up to mid-on. So he survives another over. England are 137 for 2. Root has 61. Denley has 50.
Clint says, Clint Williams, wondering if an England comeback here is more miraculous than RCD 8-4 in 1981. I think yes.
What was RCD 8?
RCD.
Sounds like something out of Star Wars.
RCD, doesn't that trip switch on a fuse board?
It is.
I have no idea what that means.
RCB, that is.
RCB?
RCD 8-4. 8-4. Who got 8 wickets?
Some dude in the T20
Oh, you mean do you mean Botham and Willis?
81.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
I'm with you now.
Yeah. It's late in the day. Don't confuse us with such things.
It is late in the day. We've been under a lot of stress. Over the last 2 days here. So, let us off the odd mistake or error.
And Brenton Baldwin sends us a picture of, I guess, him on the Rocky Steps.
Okay. They do indeed look like Rocky Steps.
It's in Philadelphia.
Lyon bowls and beautiful delivery. He throws it up, makes a beautiful curve in the air and then comes down dipping at the last moment. And Root gets an inside edge as he feels for it outside off stump onto the pad, but survives.
Well, it's 0-0 at Anfield at the moment.
Lyon in again. He goes for the sweep. He got his foot well outside off stump, so there was no chance of an appeal when he missed it and it hit the pad.
The Ghost of Zoob says, I hear talk of miracles. I assume that means I'm commentating tomorrow.
Oh, I'd love to have Zuby back to do a guest appearance. I did see that he made a guest appearance at Lord's last week, along with Norcross and Soph. He was there. This is flicked back to Lyon by Root.
Bit of admin. Can you check the direct messages, Bear? T-shirt.
Ooh.
Matt Searle. I've got it here. He wants one.
Okay.
But you need to have a note of that and do it.
Well, we'll need an address if you've left it. Can you leave us an address?
On the direct message, please, Matt.
In he comes again. Oh, now what is Root doing there? He went down the wicket, tried to get it on the full toss, tried to whip it into the long side, to the onside, and completely missed it. Fortunately for him, it hit him on the pad. He had to hurry back to make sure that he wasn't stumped or run out. And just a few moments of alarm for Root at the moment. That really wasn't very good for him.
Chill out. Just get through to the close of plays now, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's just trying to find a way of getting runs against Lyon.
Do you want us to pretend
not finding it the best way at the moment? He presses forward to the next one, runs towards extra cover. There is no run.
There is no run. There's nothing wrong with staying in the kitchen listening to Guerrilla Cricket, says Jamie Kemp. I cooked a full Sunday dinner out of pure stress during the World Cup final.
Quite right.
These were the critical kitchen overs.
Be known as the kitchen overs.
What are you doing?
I don't quite know what's got into Joe Root at the moment, but I'm not liking it. He's managed to get a single with a horrible predetermined paddle sweep through the man at short leg, but that was a slightly ropey over for him.
Hendo, tell him, Hendo.
I'm trying to tell him. He doesn't listen.
Right.
138 for 2.
West Indies, India.
Yep.
297 and 35 for 1 India in their second innings.
What did
West Indies ended up on 222. So they're 70 odd runs behind.
What did Jason Holder end up with?
He ended on 30. I had him as top scorer.
41.
Oh no, it was Roston Chase who ended up top scorer.
Yeah, but he was only 6-7 runs behind him, and he was 11 to 1. So it wasn't a bad bet. Wasn't a bad bet.
Was he on 40 or 41? Or 42?
40,
If he'd come in earlier, he'd have probably got more. Pujara's in with KL Rahul, so the man out was, what's his name? Mayank Agarwal, who had a pretty poor series to start.
It's not a series, it's the first test.
Yeah, well, exactly. A pretty poor start to the series.
Yes.
Well, on that subject, Leia says Agarwal out in Antigua for 16. Hope they bring in Rohit for the second test.
There's always lots of controversy over whether Rohit should be in the test team or not. And I saw another lot of it the night. A lot of people were really happy that he wasn't in the team this time. Okay, he hasn't quite produced it at test level, but you've got to make sure you've got players that aren't are going to be better than him. It doesn't look like Agarwal from this test necessarily is.
You name me a side in the world that has settled openers.
England.
No.
I mean,
Good
they're a
try.
hard thing to find. You know,
Are they an endangered species?
well, they kind of are. But, I mean, the thing about being an opener is you have to have luck when you start your career, because you know it's like the modal score thing. The modal score for an opener is probably below 10. You know, a lot of times you get out below 10. You're always facing a new ball. The best bowlers when they're fresh, so the chances are you're going to get out for low scores. This is the ball is doing something.
Yeah.
So the only thing that makes a good opener is actually having a run. And probably the thing that secures your career is getting a few big scores early in your career, which is surprising because Jennings actually got a couple of decent scores early in his career, but quickly lost it. So it's a real hard position to pin down to become a world-class opener, which is why everyone has a problem with it, I'd imagine.
That's fair enough point. 138 for 2 is the score as we look over the glorious city of Leeds as the camera pans back, giving us a view of the Headingley Stadium, the Carnegie Stadium, isn't it? We're looking at no, Bear, it's a repeat.
Calm down.
We're looking at the early part of Denley's innings, the pick of which was the drive off Nathan Lyon that he put over the top of mid-off. Has benefited from a few thick outside edges that have gone down to third man, but also another a lovely cover drive as well. He has restrained himself. He's held himself back from going after all those balls outside of stump that he likes to play through the covers, and that's a fault stroke strength that Australia are keen to exploit.
Well, Endo, he's playing proper Test cricket.
He's playing proper Test cricket. It's good to see. It's good to see. But this is the least we should expect from England, isn't it?
75.
138 for 2. There must be drinks because there's a long delay.
The Cricket Tracker feed sort of froze up for a minute, but I didn't realise, and I was just about to read a message from a guy called Martin Gill from 3 years ago saying, thanks guys.
Yeah, that does happen as well.
This laptop is not performing.
Well, none of the laptops have really performed.
Yeah, now this is another reason why you should all go to patreon.com/Guerrilla Cricket, because if you want us to continue broadcasting, we need decent computers, and at the moment we have some pretty ropey ones, and so any money that you can give towards the cause will help us immensely. 138 for 2. What do you
I'm trying to mumble through what score has been scored so far. 200.
Are you trying to do the GPL?
213 runs have been scored today.
Okay.
So far.
And how many entrants in the GPL?
Oh, the last 213. Messi Jez is on 213, but on Messi Jez there is an hour and 10 minutes to go. His highest score is 223.
223.
So Messi Jez can only afford 10 runs in the next hour and 10 minutes.
And is he the only man in the...
He's the only man left.
Okay.
Messi Jez went from 123. He was also the lowest score, 173.
Lancashire bloke was in it.
197 and 212. A lot of negativity about England's batting.
Funny that. Hazelwood starts his 15th over, coming into Root, holding his bat aloft, and he comes forward to his first delivery and defends to extra cover.
I'm going to read some messages from YouTube because it's working and Facebook isn't.
Right.
On this laptop. Kritak Patel says cool. Max Sheffield says Root. Ollie A says the balmy throw. Gabriel Giri, Oz win. Vikas Bishat said Oz will win, Oz must win. AM
not win.
Says England win 100. And Elsham Malik says hi.
Hello.
Hi everyone on YouTube.
3 slips as Hazelwood thunders in. He must make a bit of a noise as he runs up to the crease, but it's jabbed away just behind square on the offside by Root. The England batsmen hurry through for a single.
You've just reminded me of something from my past, which makes me chuckle.
Really?
Well, I was playing one game. I was playing, and our Gavin Tuck, our best bowler, came running in once, and as he was going up to the wicket to release the ball, he let rip this massive fart.
Oh!
And like everyone burst out laughing, and he actually threw it over the boundary.
What?
Well, because he was laughing so much, he sort of went and it went over the head, over everybody, over the boundary.
Oh dear, farting in mid-run-up is not good. It's not a good look. Outside the off-stump, and Denley shows good discipline to leave it alone again.
The body is jiggling when you run up.
I suppose
the gas bubbles, it has to find an escape route, you know what I mean?
Well, our captain turned round to the umpire and said, what are you going to give that as?
Well, the thing is, actually, if that happens, shouldn't it sort of propel you to the crease even quicker?
Well, he was laughing as it all happened because he was just about to release the ball. It happened, and he burst out laughing and collapsed, and the ball just went sailing over everyone's heads.
Wow!
And almost went for a 6.
Good if you could get that on video, wouldn't
No,
it?
God, yeah.
Hazelwood in wide of the off stump, tempting again Denley, and having a look at him as Denley is once again not of the mind to play. And Hazelwood was looking at him as if to say, go on, you know you want to. Nathan Lyon is out there autographing someone's training shoe.
Dave Wood says our laptops are like England's opening stand. Lou Britton Sachs says we should be pushing the miracle $20. Well, we do.
We do from time to time. We don't like to bore you with it, but hey, we need your money.
Don't like to pressure you.
Hazelwood in to Denley. Oh, that's gone between bat and pad.
No.
Has he got an inside edge? No,
they know he hasn't. They really want to go up though, don't they?
But goodness me, I get worried by the amount that Denley misses between bat and pad.
Hey, well that is true. That side of the edge, you're kind of a bit worried. But the flip side is, Lovely Shane and the Australians did a lot of this. I mean,
well, it's a good ball. It's a good ball.
It's come back actually and taken the pad.
It's flicked the top of the pad. It's come back a long way.
Outside the off stump now. Bang shot, can't be out. Probably going over. The one thing you have to say, the Australian length is generally that little bit shorter. They don't bowl as full as England, so they don't get a swing, and a lot of the balls going over the top of the track.
That's full again this time. Denley does get forward and defend it back to Hazelwood.
Finally, on day 3, this actually you have to say the second half yesterday. Actually, this track has turned into a pretty good batting track.
Yeah.
I think it's a good batting track, but I think there's still something in it for the bowlers.
Yeah, there is, but
there isn't so much
less.
swing, and there is a little bit less. But that last ball, or that previous ball, that did go a long way.
Well, it did. The odd one is, obviously the odd one is still going to go, but I mean the bounce is pretty true. The pace is pretty good.
Yep.
And it's coming onto the back quite nicely.
But as you've seen with England, it's about getting in. England maybe will learn from this that it's about crease occupation and things getting a little bit easier as you advance, the longer that you've stayed out there.
Absolutely. Tie the bowlers down, for fuck's sake.
I mean, it's a basic of cricket.
It's a very it's not fucking rocket science.
No, it isn't. Forward comes Root as Lyon starts a new over, and he just blocks this back to the bowler.
I mean, we've been saying this for years.
Yeah.
Messi Jesse's explained his GPL based on bearers, expert advice as how hard England would find it to score.
Right, okay.
Well, bearers?
We fooled you.
Must be bear.
Must be bear. Root opens the face as he guides this to backward point.
Bear Astramus.
Neil Franklin says, "Oh bollocks! I don't mind giving you money for beer, but don't spend it on fucking computers. We can't do the show without computers.
Can't do without beer, some would say."
Yeah.
Lyon.
I can't.
No, certainly. Is in again, and he's played the sweep there a little bit aerially, but he got down on top of it as much as he could, and he was aware that there was no one on the 45 at deep backward square or even round as far as long leg. It's fielded, and they take one.
Some advice from Leia: never read any chat or comments on YouTube. It shortens your life by a decade on average.
Right, I remember that.
Well, I keep telling Hendo to stay off the internet because it's not good for your blood pressure.
I am trying to ration myself.
Good.
I don't go on the internet.
Yeah, you don't go on the internet. You've got time, you've got 3 kids. In comes Nathan Lyon. It's flicked back by Denley, who's been stuck on 50 for just a little while.
Don't mind, as long as he's
I don't mind. 50 of 145 balls. That's the kind of innings I want to see from.
That's what Larry Shagney did.
Absolutely. He batted really well. He had a bit of luck. So we shouldn't deny the fact that Denley's had a bit of luck, and he's profited. Plays this one to mid-wicket, and there is no run.
Farong says, new ball won't be in play tonight. The rising ball is only from the pace bowlers' efforts. The cards are in England's hands at present. Don't lose wickets tonight, then becomes a one-day game tomorrow to keep England in the Ashes.
Well, it does, with probably a target around about 200.
Lyon in again, Denley forward. This was a flatter delivery, and Lyon moves to his right to field it. That is the end of the over. It's 100. Oh no, there's one ball to go. It's 140 for 2. No, in fact it isn't. That is the end of the over.
An hour left. In fact, we should be able to change right.
There's an enormous wasp that arrived in here, and have a change. We've only been on for about 20 minutes. What are you talking about?
Have we? Is it not 6 o'clock we change?
Yeah, it's not 6 o'clock yet, is it?
It is almost.
It is.
Is it?
17:59.
Okay. All right. Well, those people in the green room.
Who are due on?
Watton in the Vale is sat in a forest in Transylvania listening to us. Had to stop building his wood cabin.
Watch out for the vampires.
It's hard to commentate when there's a wasp flapping around you.
I've been drinking too, so my judgment may be off. My Romanian neighbours don't understand cricket, but love me shouting at the laptop.
Showan Pavel, what's his name? He's a Romanian, wasn't he?
Yep, he's the guy. Hazelwood then into his 16th over. Chugging in, bowls to Root, who goes onto the back foot and plays with soft hands to extra cover. 2 slips in the gully now for Hazelwood as
Dave.
We get into that sort of period in the evening where the light makes the shadows longer. I always love this time of day.
Yeah, it's lovely time of day.
Dave Wood,
stop it. Heat goes out of the day as well.
Heat goes out of the day.
You can sit outside and feel comfy.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Without wishing to jinx things, I assume Jack Leach is padded up. Stop it!
Please.
Dave Wood, stop it.
Well, he's going to get another 92, obviously.
Well, if Jack Leach gets 92 from number 11, that would...
Then we're sorted.
Well, it was sorted, but
as
not
a night
only
watchman
that,
he does it.
Well, as a night watchman. Nice drive played by Root, and it's misfielded at extra cover. They think about a single, but then decide that the fielder at mid-off has come round too smartly.
Just a word of advice, people. Don't send us direct messages for tweets to read out. Send them on Twitter.
Indeed.
Because otherwise, if you've got a question or you want to tell us something or whatever, do that. But general tweeting, just put it on the...
Make it live.
Live on the tweets, and we'll read them if we write them. Or even if we don't.
And quite often we don't. But we still read them. Oh, generally. 140 for 2, Root 64, Denley 50. We will have a change at the end of this over. I think it's the Bear coming into the ball-by-ball chair anyway. So I will go and get the stragglers from the green room after this over.
Matt Searle tells us Australia to win the series 4-0, now 13-2. After the first test it was 14-1. After day one of this match it was 20-1.
It's up and down, isn't it? Now this is interesting. He got a first slip and he's brought the second slip in really close. I mean, there's staggering, and that is, well, staggering in its way. He's in and bowls, and he hits Root on the pad as he was looking to turn it into the onside. But no damage is done. Labuschagne does the fielding. But it's an interesting field placing, and showing that Tim Payne is constantly thinking about what he can do to try and force a wicket. Now, interestingly enough, behind the second slip, who's probably on an angle of about 50 degrees, would you say? Very close. And then there's a man stationed at backward point, but almost directly behind him. So if Root was thinking of playing the uppercut, he might want to think again. Anyway, let's have a look. Hazelwood is in, bowls to Root, and he's beaten him outside the off stump. Good delivery. And that was 86 miles an hour, and Hazelwood has one or two words to say to Root, who then looks back at him and just grins in his, I don't know, slightly boyish way.
It was a boyish grin.
It was boyish. He says, please don't judge me too unfairly.
I'm Joe Root, actually.
He is. It's true. He's still getting something from this pitch, though, Hazelwood.
It just swung away, didn't it? Slightly.
A little bit of swing, maybe. I think there's more
off the pitch.
Off the pitch, I think.
Yeah, just look.
Good delivery. And you see, you don't want, you leave the door slightly ajar for Australia. They will force their way through it. All three of them, all the three of their pace bowlers will come
like big fat fuckers.
Like big fat fuckers, if that's what you want to say. He's beat him again outside the off stump, and he's got even more words to say to
Give
Root.
it some rabbit.
He has one ball left in the over.
I thought that took the edge.
Well,
that's how much I know.
And all he says is,
oh, look, you're on more white Russians.
What the
That's a large white Russian you got there, mate.
I just thought it just looks like a glass of milk to me.
Well, exactly.
Oh, look at that. That was beautifully bowled.
Yeah.
That really did move. Great stuff from Hazelwood, with this ball being, 65 overs old or more.
Yeah, give it some chat, man.
give it some chat. He's still not out, mate.
Yeah, you pick your nose, Labuschagne.
Yeah, you pick your bloody nose. See where it gets you.
Final ball of the over. Oh no, this one comes back a little bit, but Root has more or less already decided to leave it. And there's another little bit of chirp from Hazelwood, but a really good end to that over from the Australian. And that is the end of the over. It's time for a bit of bear love for you.
Is it me?
Steve Jones is coming back, and Real Fred will return.
Okay, I'm going to play a little music while we switch a route. I need to relieve myself.
Yep, you owe us all right. You think this alternative cricket commentary stuff comes cheap? Well, we need some dollar bills to help pay our bills, so please, go to patreon.com/GorillaCricket and sign up to make a regular monthly donation. You know there is literally nothing like Gorilla Cricket's coverage, so don't be tight. Dip into your virtual pocket and throw some cash our way. See, Rihanna knows. Patreon.com/GorillaCricket.
And we're back. It's Real Fred here, sat in the Tweets chair, but covering for the Bear, who has rushed off to find more Heineken. I'll be doing tweets, and doing jingles will be Mr. Steve Jones.
Good afternoon again, Fred.
Hello. See you again, and good to see Nathan Lyon still toiling away, or is it? Oh, that could be a catch!
No.
They're appealing for it. It flicked something. I think it's pad, and Joel Wilson agrees. Got good turn on it, and Denley's still stuck on 50 and not planning to go anywhere quickly.
A long debate, aren't they?
They are having a debate about this. It definitely hit the pad, but it's a question of whether it brushed glove or bat before that. He made the signal there, but he's now trying to tell the umpire that he means he doesn't want to review it. They've had a few discussions, haven't they, the Aussies? And they've turned them all down.
And they've generally been right, actually.
4 or 5, yeah, exactly. So I think it's because they know there's still over 2 days left in this match, which sounds absurd.
Yeah.
It was a good catch,
wasn't that
actually.
far from the bat, actually.
Labuschagne diving to his
Good
right
catch.
at short leg. Keeping Bancroft out of the team, because that's another plus of Bancroft anyway. Lyon is in again. And Denley is forward, gets his left leg way outside the line of stump, and there's no run. The Bear has plonked himself back in the chair and is going to fumble on the headphones. Got another beer there, Bear? Is it?
He has. I can assure you he has.
He has. He definitely has. As Lyon rocks up through the long shadows across the pitch, and Denley goes back and defends it, chops it down. It nearly rolls back towards the stumps, but he gets away with it. We're just seeing a replay here of that catch. Didn't hit the bat, just squirmed past and flicked off pad only, as he thought, Steve.
They didn't review it.
Yeah.
They know every time they don't review, though, do they?
I know, it's
And it was missing the stumps.
almost getting suspicious, isn't it?
Well,
Bear?
it is. I mean, they're just trying to force the umpire. Oh, and another one.
Similar.
There's a big LBW decision. Jazz hands from Lyon. But I think that's turning too much. Gone down leg side, possibly. Maybe hit him outside the line. It's probably gone for a leg by. They're going to have a little chat about this one. And they're going to get desperate soon, and they're going to review. They lost one review, didn't they? Because there was an inside edge. So they've only got one.
No, they've got two. No, they've got two.
Why the fuck have they got 2 reviews?
If it was umpire's call, they don't lose the review. So I don't.
But if it's inside edge and they review it, then surely they're using a review on something that I thought that should be a lost review. You're reviewing something with an inside edge, and the ball is legitimate, and you reviewed it and you failed dismally because it's an inside edge. I thought you lost the review.
No, they didn't review it. Root did, because it was.
Yes,
it was an England review,
it
wasn't
was given out.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Okay.
That's a good idea. We have review, and then we knock one off Australians. That's a great scheme.
That's a bloody great idea.
This is actually look like a reasonable shout here.
Do you reckon?
Well, I don't know.
They actually reviewed it?
Yeah, they have, and this is going to be out, isn't it?
No, missing. But they do lose a review after all that, and they have lost a review now.
I'm loving this.
Sharply.
That's a long way past.
When he was a long way forward.
Yeah. He's really turning the ball at the moment.
I'm loving this. No
You're loving it. You're rum and milk.
No wicket for hours.
Yes.
It's great. Keep it going. Keep it going. And keep your tweets coming in, by the way.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Plenty of these. Joe Denley MBE, says Arthur Shire. Bit premature in it.
It's a little.
I'll read out another few after another couple of balls.
And Lyon is in, and it's played outside as off stump this time by Denley. Defends it stoutly, and there is no run.
Well, Leah here says loose bus changes, not picking his nose. He's massaging his brain. Okay. She also says, I know that India are 1 down, but I can't wait for another one of Ishant Sharma's batting masterclasses that should have been played to Jason Roy on loop.
Ah, nicely driven. Ooh, and they're going to appeal for the run out here. No, fucking Denley, he didn't get back in time. Well, he did get back in time, probably. But he was a bit slack in getting back. He drove it straight back to the bowler, sort of admired his shot. Lyon picked it up, hurled it back at the bowler. They are going to review. Payne took the bails. If this is out, then I'm going to shoot Denley, even though he got 50, because that would be a really pathetic way of getting out.
It would. Oh,
in.
good.
No, he's well in. It was a direct hit, actually, from Lyon, and it's difficult to say, actually.
He's only a foot in.
Yeah, he's a foot in. He's very easily in. It will be not out. Australia getting a little bit desperate. England haven't scored a run for a while, though, and they don't like it when they don't score runs, although they should just chill out and go, there's how much? Oh, there's an hour to go. There's an hour to go before the end of play.
Yeah, roughly. I've lost track. Lost track of time. Good news from Bangladesh, Bear. Farong is a fan of ours and says, can't send squids from Bangladesh, brackets, money, government regulations, a pain in the arse here. Have to go to Thailand next week. We'll send some beer money from there.
Lovely.
Cheers.
Thank you very much.
There you go, I knew you'd like
Very
that.
kind.
Yeah, I don't like these places that sort of,
Don't let people do what they want.
You forget how free we are here in the West. But there are places you can't really transfer money out of the country. It seems a bit weird when you're used to it. That hits the pad, I think, of Root. Squirts out square on the leg side. It is given as a leg by. Score moves on to 141. Well, another 19 runs, and England will be less than 200 runs behind with 8 wickets in hand. That's an interesting proposition.
Dave Wood says, MBE mostly bats elegantly, question mark. Could be. Neil Frankman says, Joe Denley, I always think of Adam and the Ants and Prince Charming. This means nothing to most of you, does it? Well, it doesn't mean much to me.
Prince Charming.
Joe Denley. Was that a jingle, or is he making one up there?
No, I'm just thinking of O Vienna. This means nothing to me. Ultravox, there you go. 1 for 1 for 2. Oh, defended by Denley on the crease. Drops out and along the leg side. There's no run. Since he's got his 50, he's not going to run. And
that was about half
it'll
an
come
hour
eventually.
ago.
He's got to be. But you just got to be.
But
patient.
he's got 2 days.
He's got 2 days, exactly.
6 sessions.
2 days to get 200 runs and a bit, and 8 wickets in hand, with batsmen capable of getting 200 runs. That did churn sharply, didn't it?
It did. It didn't miss leg stump by much.
Yeah, it missed that.
It's
It
quite a long way,
was another
actually.
stump.
And Shane Warne, I think, agreed
Warne,
with me. I thought it looked out, but there you go.
Well, you follow the angle, Shaney. A long stride forward. There was, there's a couple of metres to go. I think he's been pinged on the head. No,
he's giving
it. That hit him on the helmet, didn't it?
Giving it.
He's got to review that, hasn't he?
No, he hasn't, though. Oh, no, this is a wicket,
Hasn't
isn't
he?
it?
I thought that hit him on the helmet. No, he's
Luke
walking
straight
off
up
by
in
the
there,
looks
he's
of it.
walking shite.
Oh dear, I thought that hit him on the helmet. It was a short one again this time. Hazelwood banged it in short, and it must have come off the gloves. I thought it pinged on the helmet.
You silly little boy, what on earth were you
But he
doing
dropped
that?
his hands, it's just gloved straight up in the air. Payne has caught it. Hazelwood has made a breakthrough. Ooh. And England are 141 for 3. They desperately needed that, and they have got it. Australia. So England 141 for 3, trailing by 218.
17.
218. Well, they need 218 to win.
They just need Ben Stokes to come in now and do exactly the same. Grind out a 50.
Well, yeah. I mean, he was looking good actually in the first innings until he played that horrible shot to filthy wide delivery. We'll give him a jingle for out. Give us a new player a jingle.
On your point, mate.
Durban Oak, Woy Woy Prom says Liverpool go 1-0 up.
Sweet. Who scored?
It doesn't say. You'll like that, Steve. You're a Liverpool fan, are you not?
No, Tottenham.
Oh, so why do you want Liverpool to score?
Because they're playing Arsenal.
Oh, right, I see. Sorry, Annie. Annie
I know,
is
poor
our
Annie.
resident Arsenal fan right now. And isn't Nestler's an Arsenal fan as well?
Nestler's the big Arsenal fan.
And so is Knackle. He's not here
Knackle
today.
was Nestle was confident they won't lose at Anfield, but
You've got a new man marching to the
new
crease.
man's marching to the crease. Well, he has had a rest at least.
Ben Stokes.
Got a century in the last test. Yeah, see, I thought it did. From the front on, it looked like it come off his helmet. Obviously, it had come off his gloves. They all knew it. He knew it. There's no point in reviewing it. It's a waste of a review. Hazelwood is really happy.
He's pumped up, isn't he? He's
He's
bowling well.
really pumped
He's bowling well.
I'd almost forgotten about Hazelwood after the World Cup. Him not featuring in that
Had
squad.
you? No, I mean,
And then I just
apparently
remembered.
he was really angry he didn't get picked for the World Cup squad.
Well, I'm sure he had some injury issues in the end.
Well, he did, but he was clear coming into the World Cup and they didn't pick him.
I almost remembered him when I looked at the squads. I thought, uh-oh.
Well, first ball.
Outside off.
Outside off, indeed. And
Little dangler.
Stokes leads that. There's no run.
And Durbanote here says the collapse is on.
Well, the collapse is always on with England,
We're
isn't it?
doomed. We're doomed. Dick Stallard says, after this Ashes performance, do the cricketers still deserve to be on the Queen's honours list for the World Cup? Do you think they're going to be scrubbed away, Dick Stallard? Is that how this works?
Lyon will be encouraged as a left-hander fine at the crease. Who next in? Next in will be Butler and Bairstow.
Bairstow before Butler, apparently.
Yeah, Bairstow before Butler. So another 2 right-handers after this. No, so many left-handers on the side now. Stokes gets right behind that, plays it out square on the offside, and there's no run.
After a long partnership like that, coming in, facing the first balls, it's tricky, isn't it?
Oh, it is. It is indeed. You just got to think of it as another innings.
It's a damn sight better than coming in 30 for 4.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've also got to think, the ball is quite old, the bowlers are quite tired. You've got to trust your technique. You've got to let the balls go that you don't need to play. Get your eye in. You've got plenty of time.
We've got 20 overs of this old ball.
You've got 20 overs of this old ball. You've got 2 days to go. There's no need to play anything rash. And play within your confines. And ease yourself into the game. Stokes lets that one go outside his off stump. There's no run. End the 17th over for Hazelwood. 2 for 30. He's bowled 17 overs. 2 for 34. England 141 for 3.
Bear, you mentioned earlier it could line up tomorrow, because we are going to get tomorrow now, surely.
Yes.
It could line up that the new ball arrives in the
Pretty
morning.
much.
Half an hour into the morning. And that could be key, couldn't it?
Well, it could do. I mean, ideally, you want it exactly that. If it arrives half an hour after the start, that's good for England. They get half an hour with an old ball that's probably not going to do as much, and they get sighters. They get themselves, presumably they don't lose a wicket. Hopefully they don't lose a wicket. These 2 are still there in the morning. They get to see that in. If it arrives 2 overs after the start, you get a little bit of a sighter. But the new ball's going to be the challenge. Then get through the new ball without maybe only losing 1 wicket. There's still a chance. It's still on. Lyon is tossing that up, driven nicely by Root, but straight up to mid-off, and there's no one. There's a cover and there's a mid-off. And there's a short leg. Can't see if there's a slip. I presume there is. Well, England have gone up for 30%.
They're rising.
Australia 70%.
Well, they were 30% last time I was on, so they must have been up higher than that.
No, they were
reverse sweep and a little top edge, and it's going to be very fine. It's going to be 4 runs. Good shot, Rooty.
That's a nice shot.
It was a fair shot to play. It wasn't turning enough to come back and hit the stumps. It wasn't going to get him out of OBW, and it wasn't, there's no one there.
Arthur Shire here. If England get the deficit down below 200, have they avoided the ultra follow-on? Or is it just significant for crucial World Test Championship tie-breaking purposes?
Well, no, that makes no difference to the World Test Championship, because,
it's a nothing.
If we lose, getting on no points. Down the track comes Roots. I think Lyon saw him coming, bunged it in fast and flat at 56.7 miles an hour, and Root just covered up and played it into leg side, short leg, no run.
Poet Revert has tweeted it here. I'll read that in a second.
145 for 3. Root 68 not out. Stokes just come to the crease, only faced 3 balls. That's tossed up, and they pulled his bat just inside the line, and they half went up behind the stump. They did all leap, but then they stopped their leaping as Root pulled his bat just inside the ball. As it went on with the arm, it didn't turn that much. Well, actually, he played it at Root, then pulled his bat inside it. He kind of followed it a little bit. Yeah, it was a good arm ball. Well, I think it was meant to turn. It just didn't. That's what I mean. The wicket is quite flat. The old one is going to turn. But it's not vicious turn.
Well, he's got some to move, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, he's got those balls missing leg stump on those 2.
Yeah, but they're quite short, aren't they? And they start off quite wide. They're quite straight. They're not really turning. There's a little bit of dust, but it's not a lot. So it's quite a true wicket. Tossed up, attempted sweep by Root that time. No, don't play stupid shots. You've got plenty of time, Joe. Off the pad out towards point, and there is no run.
That's the end of the over. Poet Revert says, from wanting Australia to win after the first innings shite performance from England, now I want them to win just to see Rooty smile. I want Joe Root to reclaim his spot in the best 4.
Well, he needs to do a bit more than just play 1 good innings.
He does. And Babar Azam should be in that 4 now.
Well,
it's a 5.
Babar Azam looks good too, doesn't he?
He does. Real proper batsman.
It's all about consistency and average, really. And Root's average has been dropping. I mean, his average is still quite high. That's why people still talk about it with him. But it is dropping. This is above his average, so that shouldn't be too bad. He's had a problem playing around his front pad for the last the last year or so. Facing is Stokes, he defends that stoutly. Back to Hazelwood, who continues. And there is no run.
At what point do these bowlers start getting tired? 17 overs from Hazelwood.
I think they'll be reasonably tired now, and they've got another hour to go.
Yeah.
It's been a warm day, sunshine.
Yeah, it has been a hot day, you know.
They're glistening their heads, aren't they? So
yeah.
They're working. It's good to see.
I mean, Hazelwood's got his pace up, but it's his first spell, you know, he's 81. I mean, after about 6-7 overs, he was only bowling 81, 82 miles an hour. Pace had come right back down. I think getting a wicket has pumped his adrenaline back up. He's a bit pacier now. It's wide outside the off stump. There's no run, but it's not, you know, because consistently bowling 87, 86 late 86s and 87 and beyond in the first innings. He's bowling, that was 84.
I'm just wondering if there's a red zone. You know what I mean by that, where statistically bowlers are more likely to get injuries or break down or get tired. Is it 30 overs? Imagine bowling 30 overs not in a day, but you know.
Well, for a
medium
pace,
I used to bowl 30 overs in an afternoon.
Did you really?
Bowler.
Medium pace fast or tweakers?
Yeah,
in the red bear zone.
It's full outside the off stump.
What was Bear's red zone then?
Yeah, what was your red zone? Yeah, exactly.
That was the bar. Left alone outside the off stump by Stokes, and there's no run. No, I mean, no, I didn't quite bowl 30 in the afternoon, but I'd often bowl 18, 20, 22, you know, on the spin, to be honest. But now I'm a spin bowler.
Yes.
And you used to enjoy that.
Get into your rhythm and stuff
yeah,
like that.
Exactly, especially when you're younger and fitter.
Yeah.
And you can actually, you know, I mean, latterly, as I got towards the end of my career 2 or 3 years ago, bowling 10, 12 overs was a long stretch, even as a spinner at 40 odd. Short route Stokes,
especially when the alternative is you could stand in the slips for.
Well, I never got to stand in the
overs.
slips, so I got put at mid on, or you know.
No, I learned that quite early on at school. That's why I was always at first.
I was never a good slipper.
You're too tall to be first slip, Steve.
No, I was always first slip.
Were you?
Yeah, it's cracker. I loved it though.
Yeah, I never had reactions to slip.
I'd have you steaming in as a fast bowler.
I was
Steve.
as a kid, and then my back went when I was about 11. So I thought, I'll sod that. I'll just
your back went at 11. That's harsh, isn't it? You hadn't even reached puberty and your back went.
Yeah.
Oh well, such is life. Stokes faces up. Hazelwood tosses that well outside his off stump.
I think I still have the squeaky voice at 11.
Exactly.
But a buggered back.
How can you know you're buggered back? It can't have been that buggered. It must have just a back spasm or something. There's no run anyway.
No, I hurt it. I didn't bowl for about 4 or 5 weeks. I came back onto bowl at Christ Hospital in Horsham.
Are you at Christ Hospital?
No, we were.
Oh, right, okay. I know
school in
went
Horsham,
to Christ
but
Hospital.
we were playing there. 4th ball in, my back went, and someone else had to finish off the
Oh
overs.
my God.
Just told the teachers I'm not going to bowl anymore.
Was that your last ever over, Steve?
That was my last ever 4-ball over.
4-ball.
I never bowled another over for the school.
Wow, that's what age was that?
I was 11.
Just turning into senior school. On the leg side, Stokes gets himself off the mark. He's just.
But I did bat for the first 11 for 4 years.
Oh well, okay. So you turned yourself into a batsman.
Yes, opener.
Oh well, there you go. Highest ever score? I'm sure I've asked you this before.
Oh,
I was probably pissed.
111. Something like
okay.
that.
So you got ton.
Not out.
How many tons in your career?
3.
That's okay. That's not too bad.
Lots of 70s and 80s.
That's fine. Ian Bell used to manage that.
Lots of noughts and 10s as well.
Well, there's an opener. That's the modal score, as we say. You know, scores below 10.
We've got a tweet here from MWibsPHL. Have been holding off tweeting anything as an absence of tweets has coincided with no wickets down, but so much for that. Shout out to Brendan, 2 times Philly listeners. Hello to everyone in Philadelphia.
Hello to Philadelphia.
Hello, Philadelphia.
City of brotherly love, is that right?
Indeed.
Liberty Bell and
I
all
quite
that.
like the Eagles too.
Yeah. I like Nick Foles. He was great when he led the Eagles to the NFL Super Bowl. I just sounded like I didn't know what I was talking about.
Yeah,
the Super Bowl.
I was going to say, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, thanks, Ben. It's good that they've got Labuschagne, the Aussies. I was just thinking, looking at that bowling card, he's only bowled 4 overs. But Lyon is obviously going to toil away at one end to try and rest the other guys. But there's no reason now, with the ball being this old, they can't do spin twin, one from each end, just for a bit, you know. while they've still got plenty of runs on the board and a deficit to make up?
I think Wade was trying to play with a crowd there. He was, wasn't he?
He was, yeah.
Stokes went on the back foot, rocked on the back foot, Slime rolled around and wicket to him, bashed it into the ground. It was caught by Wade, who immediately kind of went to throw it up in the air and do a big way. Looked around at the crowd, who are obviously really quite hard cut, understandably on a sunny Saturday afternoon. Very full and defended by Stokes, no run.
Leah says, I'm amazed the bear doesn't like fielding in the slips. He's definitely verbal enough to be.
Oh no, I used to like fielding in the slips. I was just never very good at it, so no one ever put me in the slips.
Verbal
in
enough.
In fact, actually, I did win a match, funnily enough. I will explain. Lyon tosses them up, defended by Stokes out to the offside to cover, and there's no one. So I was playing, our third 11, really one year while I was captaining him for a while, as Dan Norcross was moving up the BBC ranks and wasn't available to do captaining. I captained, and we got basically a bunch of Pakistanis came in from another club. And it turns out they never played their sub, so that's left alone outside the off stump. There's no run, which is why they got booted out of their last club, and they ended up getting booted out of ours for the same reason 2 years later. But that's not the point. They were a really good bunch of lads, and they're actually quite good, and I had to captain them. And anyway, that year we ended up getting promoted to the Premier League of Surrey third 11 leagues.
Good.
So the next year we're playing. That's tossed up, defended by Stokes, and there's no run. So next year I ended up playing mostly 2s 11, but the captain of the thirds I knew. We got dropped down, playing at Spencer, down near Carl Shulton, for those people who know the Surrey League. Last wicket required, and we had about 2 overs to go. I was at third slip, as that's defended by Stokes in the outside his off stump, defends out to cover, and there's no run. Someone drives it, it comes to me at third slip. I actually held on to it.
Well done.
There you go.
Threw it up in the air like a loon and ran around the outfield. Loved it.
And that's when you look at the umpire and it's been a no ball or something awful.
Well, you feel
I did that. I caught a brilliant catch at Cow Corner once. Real sky, and it came down. I took it diving because it swirled in the air. And I got up and threw it in the air, and I was dancing around. A couple of my teammates running towards me. It was a no ball, which means the ball was still live.
Yes.
So I could run back after it. Terrible.
Keep running, boys. Keep running.
Did they run 5?
No, I don't think they got to 5, Steve.
Oh, changing bowling. Hazelwood having taken the wicket a couple of overs ago has now been replaced by
James Lee Pattinson. He's on the mend. After back treatments that seemed without end. So many games missed, we almost despaired.
And he's only bowled 10 overs, none for 20. He's coming in to bowl to Rooty, who defends that square on the offside out through point. There's a cover, and there's no one back there. There's on the boundary. And again himself through for a single. 1473.
That's a beer burp. There's good timing here. Comrade Bernski says, is Bear referring to beers or overs in a day before injury?
Generally over.
You don't understand the question, do you, Ben?
Yeah. No, I remember what I was talking about.
Derek Willis here says, Re City of Brotherly Love, i.e. Philadelphia, my high school marching band from Pennsylvania, played at the stadium where the Phillies and Eagles used to play, and we got booed.
Really?
Yeah. So
Why?
much for the City of Brotherly Love.
Did they have Steve Smith in the group?
It's possible. But it might be, Derek, that it's because none of them were your brothers.
Left alone outside the off stump, and there is no run. Stokes seems to have oodles of time, doesn't he? He seems to see that ball quite early.
And Leah says, judging by their sports fans, inhabitants of Philly are fourth-rate humans at best. And she's posted a picture here. Let's not even talk about that time their police decided to bomb their own city. Okay, Leah. Interesting.
Whoa. What are we going with this?
If you want to read more about that, it's on our feed. Richard Peel says, nice one, mate, in reply to Brenton Baldwin, who's been running, I think.
Pattinson in, bowled horribly down the leg side. Lucky that Payne got a glove on that. There have been a certain 4 buys, and Warner comes across and taps him on the head.
Exaggerated tap on the head.
Yeah, so it kind of went further as it went down the leg side.
Brenton Baldwin himself has tweeted in a minute. He says, please keep tweeting to Matt Wibberley, as I'd like to see a couple more wickets before stumps. Must be Australian, Brenton.
Must be an Australian fan, indeed. Well, we should have a change for the last half hour at the end of this over. Pattinson is going to come up and have a little bowl as he's fourth ball of the over. Outside Stokes is off stump. He leaves it through the keeper and there's no run.
He hasn't been running. He's just posted a picture of himself, Brenton. Which city is that? He doesn't say. Recognise that building.
Turn it around.
There it is.
Nice.
Does look nice.
Nice skyline. And that's the Rocky Steps, isn't it?
It could be the Rocky
That's
Steps.
the Rocky Steps in Philadelphia.
Oh, that's why we're talking about Philadelphia.
Absolutely.
There's too much rum today, haven't I?
Yes, clearly. Tastes quite good though.
It's lovely.
Is that a lobster?
It looked like it, didn't
There's
it?
a kind of red lobster in the crowd. He looks really pissed. Defended by Stokes out to the covers, and there is no run.
He's up to 85.
Slowly
winding it up.
He's slowly winding it up. You know.
Jay Grover says, I've just realised that it's Knights in white satin with an N, not with a KN. I'm not a clever man. He says, don't do yourself disservice, Jay. I think you're a clever man.
Oh no, kid's fallen off through the gate. He's only about 10-year-old. That could hurt him.
Health and safety.
Get your foot back, mate.
1WSR says, apparently Marvellous Labuschagne wants his name rhymed with champagne. The folks over at the Cricket Reddit are having none of it.
Absolutely.
They're not, and there's a big post here about all the ways you could pronounce his name.
Pattinson in, defended stoutly by Stokes, out to the leg side, up to mid-on. There's no run. It's the end of the over. We have one more over then, Hendo. One more. I heard the one more.
One more.
I don't know who's coming in for your last half an hour. Yeah, I got it, Hendo. Got it. I heard you.
Leah says, fans of the Phillies used to bring bags of 9-volt blocks to the park to throw at the player of colour that was playing on their own team.
What?
I think, Leah, you've had too much rum today.
9-volt? Oh no, I'm thinking the 12-volt, those big square ones.
That
9
is
volts are
absolutely awful. Oh, that's okay then if it's only 9. It's only a 9.
Only a 9. Well, my point is they're quite. I was thinking
they're still quite hard though.
Yeah, I know. No, yeah, absolutely. But I was thinking those big,
big
you know, the big chunky ones.
Yeah.
They were 12-volt, weren't they?
There's a lot of non-brotherly love for Philadelphia coming
Absolutely.
out. I think we better get out of this conversation.
Shortish by Lyon, and the route goes right back and just guides it down, follows the turn, down to long leg, gets himself a single. Yeah, it's not going to turn like that. They're showing us highlights of Lyon bowling at Lords, but that was a 5th day pitch, or a late 4th day when that happened, a 5th day later. And it was very difficult to bat on. There was, it falling apart. This is basically an end of 2nd day pitch, halfway through 2nd and 3rd day, and it still looks reasonable. I mean, on the back foot, Stokes cuts that. There's a deeper set cover. There's a cover and a more kind of forward square cover. There's a man behind square.
Certainly a ring of them.
Yeah, there's a ring, and then there's a mid off. There's not a lot of space to thread it through. Short and wide. It turns out the footholes, but no need to play out that. Footholes aren't close enough to.
Not for an offie like.
Not to a left
not
hander. Quite close enough to the batsman, and a little bit too wide maybe to. Well, actually, having said that, if you miss on the inside, it could go straight on. Stokes gets forward, covers the spin, leaves it alone. Payne takes it, and there's no run. 148 for 3, England. 2 balls left in my spell, and then some people will take over. Defended by Root, out to cover, and there's no one. There's an appeal by Payne. I don't know why, came to face the back, you fuck. But I suppose people see what they see.
Comrade Bermsky here says, if you think Philly football fans are bad, you should go to the Penguins NHL Flyers game.
Oh, yeah. On the back foot, Stokes force it out into cover. No run. It's going to be a three-man change. We'll have a little bit of music, shall we? For a change? You don't do that, do you? Go to marketing. And one of those.
Alternative cricket commentary. Bringing you laughs, bringing you jingles, bringing you joy. We are Gorillas. We need your Patreon.com/Gorilla Cricket.
We're into the final half an hour, the home stretch, really.
Is it the
of
crucial
today's
half hour?
cricket. Well, it's quite a crucial half hour, I suppose. If England were to lose another couple of wickets now, it would be disappointing after their efforts this afternoon. In comes Pattinson and goes through Root. He seemed late on the shot then. That seemed to almost gather pace off the wicket. It was up at 88 miles an hour.
Didn't think we'd make it to this part of the day, actually.
Didn't really, I have to say. I did say that the Australians will probably be parading the Ashes around Headingley either at 6 o'clock tonight or perhaps at 12 or so tomorrow, midday.
Can I just say...
You certainly can. And I think that it was a well-deserved accolade for that particular delivery. Pattinson, very economical, 21 runs off his 11 overs and 1 ball. He's in again, bowls to Root. Root essays a nice checked drive towards extra cover, and there is no run. He's moved on to 70 now. Stokes has a single from 25 balls. 25 balls that he's faced since England lost Joe Denley. Short ball got him in the end.
It's the new Stokes, isn't it? It's the introspective Stokes that we've seen recently, isn't it?
It is. Well, in some ways it is. I just think he's a magnificent trier these days. He just gives everything, whether he's bowling or batting. Root waits, and Patterson is in, and he finds the outside edge, and it runs down to a third man who's about 20 yards in from the boundary edge.
It's 2.5 man.
I'm not surprised they put a guy down there, because they have leaked quite a few runs into the third man position. But that brings Root another single. He goes to 71.
Bets on Root getting to 100.
Oh no, you've done it! No,
sorry,
no!
God, I did it again.
Come on, take her out. Come on.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Come on, carry her out.
Liverpool scored again.
2-0, Mo Salah penalty.
What a shame. 149 for 3.
You have 2 Arsenal fans either side of you.
I don't care. That makes it better. You're not really an Arsenal fan, you're an Exeter fan. You know, stick up for your small teams.
Yeah. Well,
Stokes,
Exeter won today.
They did. Stokes defends back to Pattinson, who is now operating from round the wicket to the left-hander.
Did Wimbledon win today?
No, but that's why I'm getting my own back. That's why I'm getting my own back. By enjoying your discomfort.
I'm not that bothered these days.
I wasn't actually that bothered. I was expecting far worse. Actually, 3-1's quite a good result for us. 149 for 3. Seeing as we've pretty much lost every other game 2-1, it's nice to be beaten by a proper margin.
Whatever happens, they'll never be able to take Anfield 1989 away from us.
This is true.
Let's hang on to that one, eh?
Pattinson in again to Stokes. Stokes is turned around a little bit by this, but meets it with the full face of the bat and punches up to wide-ish mid-off.
The reason I was talking about Root, goes back to Bear's stat of him converting his 50s to 100.
Well, it comes up, doesn't it, every time he gets past 50?
Yeah,
basically.
it's like, will he actually get 100 this time?
Yeah.
Well, he's in that Root territory at the moment.
Yeah, and it must prey on his psyche a little bit, knowing that.
It's just a number at the end of the day.
It is.
You know.
But we prefer for him to go past it.
Yes.
Pattinson in to Stokes. He leaves a good length ball outside the off stump and through to the keeper it goes.
Twice, in fact. Tweets?
Yep. Chris Save with Bush Hospital says, not my club, thankfully, but Pembroke Dock second 11, all out for 2 today.
Ooh, bloody hell.
Even worse than England yesterday.
Yeah, just slightly worse than England.
2 is impressive.
And did anyone get any runs, or were those extras? That would be even funnier if it was just wides or no balls, something like that.
He doesn't go into
we need
the
more
scorecard,
detail.
I'm
We
sorry.
need more detail. I think Andy Ward's side was bowled out. One of his veteran side was bowled out for 9 the other week, wasn't
Bowled out for 2.
Yeah,
it's quite
that's,
good, isn't it?
That's not good, is it? Leah says this must go back to a conversation before us. There was an incident where the Philly police that were tasked with keeping the peace at an ice hockey game beat up the opposing team with their batons just for fun.
For fun?
Just for fun.
It's sport. Root comes down the wicket to Nathan Lyon and pushes up to mid-on. The mid-on is quite deep, so he sees that there's a single there, but still has to hurry. And England's 150 is up. 150 for 3, which is a lot better than 67 all out, has to be said.
Good old
So
second
hang on,
innings.
if Pembroke's second 11 were bowled out for 2, how bad are Pembroke third 11?
They probably don't have one, I'm guessing.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
I wonder if that's a pattern. It'd be interesting to know what their scores in other games have been this year. Because just to get 2 just out
come
of the
on,
blue
Pembroke, tell us.
is odd, isn't it? Lyon round the wicket to Stokes. Stokes props forward and defends back to him. He's now batted for 29 deliveries and has just a single to his name. But his job is to stay there and occupy the crease and ensure that no one else has to come out tonight. Possibly England's 2 best batsmen at the crease right now. Onto the back foot goes Stokes, defends into the covers.
Oh, it's nice to see Root on 72, I have to say.
Well, after a couple of ducks in a row,
Ugh.
we didn't want 3 ducks in a row because that would be like bingo.
It would be like those things on a wall, wouldn't
All
it?
those things on a wall.
Yeah.
Fruit machine.
Yep.
A fruit machine?
Indeed. Round the wicket again to Stokes, who once more offers the full face of the bat and returns the ball all the way along the ground to Lyon. Lyon has figures of none for 41. He's into his 19th over. He has a slip and a short square leg, just a bit forward of square. It's flicked into that man in that position, who appears now to be Marnus Labuschagne, who's obviously not worried about taking raps on the grill, because he's already taken several blows to the head in his short Ashes career.
He likes the helmet, maybe.
He may be. He goes again, he goes back, and Stokes is forced to take his bottom hand off the bat as that one jumps on him a little bit, but he manages to play it down into the ground, and that is the end of the over.
A confused looking bear.
The bear is looking for his phone.
I don't have it, that's mine.
That's yours.
Is it in your seat, Hinder?
Messi Jez says, wouldn't you say that Stokes has learned to pull his punches? I think there must have been talk about hitting, because
yeah, I brought it up, didn't I?
Bike Medic says, did you?
See you tomorrow. Steve's off.
Bye, Steve.
Hopefully see Steve tomorrow. I think he's in the morning. Yeah, can't find the bear's phone. Well, there you go.
We could always
never
ring it.
mind. Never mind.
Bike Medic says Bruins and Rangers fans can be brutal.
Can they? Bruins. What sport are we talking? Hockey still. Ice hockey. Pattinson with his tongue tucked into his, into the corner of his mouth in concentration as he's in bowl to Root onto the back foot. Goes the England captain and turns the ball towards mid-wicket. The bear's pointing at something. I'm sitting on his phone. There it is. And we're actually, there it is. It was underneath my arse.
Did you feel it vibrate?
I didn't, but I was, a few seconds more and I would have done. And that would have been a thrill for all of us. 150 for 3, Route 72, still blue skies over an evening Headingley. But it's Stokes who's facing at the moment. Patterson? No, it isn't. It's Root, of course, facing Pattinson.
And Leah says, I mean, there's a reason a 50 is called a rootery.
Short ball outside the off stump doesn't cause Root too many problems, just watches it go by.
Maggie Fenn says Philadelphia was the mecca of American cricket in the 19th century.
It was.
Famous players by name of King was part of the touring party to England.
That's right. If only the US had continued to play cricket properly for years and years, it would be a more interesting test arena in many ways. Patterson is now running up the hill towards Joe Root. He's in, he bowls a full ball, he tries to drive, he was tempted that time, but he mistimes it, gets a thick inside edge, and the ball goes slowly up to mid-on.
Has he made a deal with God? I hope you get that reference.
I do get that reference, yes. I'm trying to think of an apt reply, but I can't.
And get him to swap our places.
Running up that road. Neil Franklin says, are Jay Groover and Leah the same person?
Well, I've never seen them in the same Twitter sphere.
I have.
That's true.
Yeah.
Pattinson again, turning and running. And he bowls to Root. Root goes back and just jabs this square. He's going to get the easiest of singles. Wade, rather unnecessarily, gets the ball and then turns and threatens to throw it at the non-striker's end, but he was well home. He goes to 73. England 151 for 3. Now, my feeling is that England must not lose another wicket tonight. And the reason I say that is I seem to have watched England chasing totals that they're unlikely to get, coming back in the morning, and they're always 4 wickets down. And whenever they're 4 wickets down in the morning, they never last much beyond lunch.
And it doesn't help, does it?
Doesn't help. So
There's jousting
still a
going
chance. There is some jousting going on amongst the denizens of the Western Stand.
Is that the Pithead stand?
It is basically.
It's nearly 7 o'clock as well, isn't it?
That's true. Short ball as Stokes gets in behind it. It's not bouncing that much. He sort of seemed to flinch, Ramon, as if he thought that was going to get up at head height, but it didn't, and defended it into the offside.
Don't make excuses for him, Manny.
Manny?
Annie.
Oh, Annie. I thought you said Manny. We should have Manny and Annie on at the same time.
Look, Owen Foley on Facebook says, "Hi, come on England." He says, "Please can you shout me out?"
We've just done that, Owen. We've just shouted you out. Target is 359. If England can get it down under 200 going into the morning, well, they still won't win it. But full ball, well played by Stokes. That was right up in the block hole. Trying to do him with the Yorker, but Stokes was made of sterner stuff. He's still 1 not out. He's faced 35 balls, and that is the end of Pattinson's 13th over. He's got figures of none for 23.
Man is angry.
He probably is, but we don't know where he is. We don't know where he is, but he's probably angry wherever he is.
Owen Foley says, "Thank you now." James KJ says, "Australia win the match." No, come on.
No.
Come on, you must be Australian.
You must be Australian.
And Tony Bishop, hello Tony. Here is the latest Gorilla Cricket Gorilla Shire podcast. He's just sharing his podcast.
Oh, okay.
He says he loves that podcast.
He loves
I
it.
wonder why he loves that podcast. Do you think it's because
And it's a treat for me as well, apparently.
Because it's his podcast.
Because it's about Somerset.
And it's about Somerset. Yep. And it's about who else?
Sussex.
Sussex. There we go. Yeah, well worth a listen. David Brooke and Garabi are the guests on that particular episode. Lyon comes in, bowls, and Root is back into his crease and lets the ball more or less hit the bat and run towards short leg.
Owen Foley wants to be talked about. He's saying all of us are awesome and we're legends. Apparently,
we are legends.
Thank you, Owen.
In our own lunches. He's in again. Bowls to Root. Root tries to drive, but horribly shanked that into the ground with the bottom of the bat, and turns away angrily. There's lots of noise coming from the green room, which suggests to me that Liverpool have gone 3-0 up.
No.
For God's sake.
No, they haven't.
Salah.
So the Bear is a very happy man. Annie and Nestle Boy not quite.
Well,
so.
at least England are doing all right. Oh no!
Stop it now! Stop it now! Defended again to the man at short leg.
You cannot be serious!
Yep. You're doing worse than we are. You're doing worse than Wimbledon.
No.
Is he going? Are you off?
Bye.
What's the matter
Too
with
much
him?
rum, I
think
think.
he's had too much rum.
Yeah.
Yeah. Flicked towards mid wicket.
Bye, Fred.
And there is no run. Bye bye to the real Fred.
A very wobbly,
the real Fred.
wobbly real
Quite
Fred.
a wobbly.
He looks a bit
real
groggy,
Fred.
actually. I
He
think
does look
he has had what milk with some kind of milk with
Some sort of vodka
soya
thing.
milk.
soya milk with rum.
Yeah.
Not great. Now that's hit Root on the pad. It has turned into the pad, and down goes Nathan Lyon, imploring Joel Wilson to give him an LBW, but he was well for it. Probably struck him just outside off stump. And there is no run.
David Watkins says, "Can you tell Michaela Strachan, who is reading out the tweets, that I used to fancy her like mad in the 90s?"
Actually, there is an element of Michaela, isn't there? Has anyone said that before?
No, but I'm happy with that.
You like that, though? Do you like that? You'll be doing.
I'm happy with that.
Before we know it, you'll be doing wildlife programs. That's pushed up to mid on by Root, and again, no run results. End of the over at England, 151 for 3. Come on, Michaela, what have you got? Does that make me Bill Oddie?
It certainly does. Durban Oak, this isn't funny. 3-0 now. Brilliant goal from Salah.
Shut up.
Yeah, thanks, Durban Oak.
Listen.
Comrade Bernski says Ben Stokes playing like Chris Tavares in his heyday.
Yes. Now, where did I see something about Chris? Chris Tavares will be, I think, umpiring a game tomorrow with the Lord's Taverners somewhere. I can't be more. I can't, I can't be more exact than that. I can't be more exact than that because I read it on Facebook. And where was it? Somewhere. I think you can also hear Daniel Norcross commentating on that game if you can find out where it is. But I can't think. 151 for 3. Stokes 1. Route 73. How long to go, chaps?
About 11 minutes.
B-Phone says hi.
Hello.
Sunny
Hello.
Bauer says you deserve to be commentators for Sky Sports.
We do.
Hey,
we
thanks.
deserve to get their salaries. That's for sure.
I wouldn't like to wear those suits though.
No, it would be a bit restricting, wouldn't it?
Can you imagine the bear having to do that? Or Busfield.
Well, we have an interesting change. We
Oh,
saw him a little earlier.
him
He's
again.
coming back now with 10 or so minutes to go. It's going to be Marnus Labuschagne. Makes the man who goes away go away.
He plays with the jingles all the time and he can't find them.
I know.
It's not in the Australia car. Oh, yes, it
Yes,
is.
it is.
Something has gone wrong. Take a toke of mellow smoke, guzzle something strong. Hopefully by now you cannot feel much pain as I bring the news that it's Marnus Labuschagne.
I love that jingle. I love that jingle. It sounds a bit like Invisible Sun by the by Sting, doesn't it? Onto the back foot. Let's not start talking about Sting because I know that Nestle Boy can't stand him. Defended to extra cover. I'm not going to talk music. No more music. No more music.
I don't know anything by Sting.
No,
Solo.
But oh right, I thought you did.
No.
Now that's a poor ball, and Stokes will possibly get another run here as he flicks it away, unless it came off thigh pad, and I suspect it did because that is
a leg man.
signalled by Chris Gaffinet.
First Police album's all right.
All the Police stuff. Some of the Sting stuff's good. Actually, no, I think Invisible Sun was the Police, wasn't it?
I don't know. The first Police album.
Come on, you're the muso.
Yeah, but after that, shite. Isn't it? Don't stand so close
Can I just
to
do
me.
a tweet?
Yes.
Leah says, what was moving like a Jackie Chan action thriller yesterday is moving like a classic French movie today.
Oh,
Proving once and for all that Crick
Jeu de
Info
baton.
commentators know nothing about movies.
Shot of baton.
Hey, I like that, Leah. I think that's got class, that.
Round the wicket, Labuschagne to bowl to Root, who goes back and flicks it past the man at short leg. They're going to get one. He's set off quickly. He may be thinking of a second. Oh, they're going to take it. No, he's going to be sent back. There could be trouble, but just in time. Stokes says no, and Root doesn't go too far.
Yes,
oh, I mean, can you imagine if they got a ridiculous pointless run out, chasing a second run with the last 10 minutes of the day upon us? Oh, that would be unbearable.
I don't know why, but I would.
And then I'd pass that on. I'd beat Annie, and then she'd beat someone else down the line. It would just be a lot of beating going on, put it that way. Labuschagne then to the left-handed Stokes. It's right up in the block hole, and he defends it straight back to the bowler.
Sunny Bauer asks us whether we only commentate for England and Australia matches. Oh, no, we don't.
No, we don't. And keep an eye out. We like to do a lot of Indian cricket if we can, and I know that India are playing this series in the West Indies at the moment. As Labuschagne is in again, it's a full toss, clipped quite quickly up to mid-on, so there's not time for a run. We may be able to do the second test, the West Indies-India second test. Keep an eye on us. Go to our website, we'll tell you there, guerillacricket.com. But we've done a lot of Indian cricket, and certainly when the India-South Africa series starts, as this is played through square leg by Stokes, who gets his second run from 40 deliveries. Certainly when the India-South Africa series starts, that will be covered either by us or possibly our franchise, Guerrilla Cricket South Africa. So keep your eyes on that. We also do World tournaments. We did the World Cup. If you haven't discovered us before that, we did all the World Cup this year. We've done the Asia Cup, which was quite good fun last September.
Me and Knuckle did a bit of IPL.
We've done a bit of IPL. We intend to do more IPL next year. So yeah, we do as much as we can, really.
And we even did the Masters golf once.
Did the golf? We did the snooker. We did the snooker once as well.
I'd have liked to have done the golf. I'd like
it
a
was
good
good
bit
fun.
of golf.
It was good fun.
Change of bowling. Nathan Lyon comes off. and there's going to be a final attempt to squeeze another wicket out of the day from Patrick Cummins.
Paceman Pat, and his baggy green cap. Early in the morning, just before the warm-up, he has to pull out with a dodgy back.
Patrick Cummins!
And he's going to bowl to 2 slips and a gully, a backward point. I sigh because we had a lovely aerial shot of the entire field, and I was about to give you the whole of the field placings, but I can't now because the camera has zoomed in on Patrick Cummins and someone who's hiding behind some suitcases by the looks of it. Anyway, he's going to be coming down the hill from the Kirkstall Lane end over the wicket to the left-handed Stokes, and he bowls a short one which really doesn't get up that high. It was angled across Stokes and he ducked, but he needn't have worried because it was well wide of where he stood.
He was putting him off.
Cameron Bancroft running around, about to provide some sunglasses to one of his fielding colleagues, I presume.
Can I just read a tweet?
You can.
Pirate
You
Bashaw
have to
says,
ask.
soya milk and melted lollipops as mixers with delicious rum. Real Fred needs an intervention.
He does indeed. The man he was bringing sunglasses to is James Pattinson on the boundary. In comes Cummins. Another short one which Stokes very easily sways out of the way of.
And Neil Franklin says, I think that makes you Pete Waterman, Hendo, old lad.
What makes me Pete Waterman?
Michaela Strachan.
Yeah, Michaela Strachan and...
Pete Waterman? What of Waterman and Waterman?
Aitken.
Who was it? Was it Waterman and who?
Aitken and Waterman, wasn't it?
Aitken and Waterman?
Yeah, they're the record producers.
Stock Aitken and Waterman.
Oh, there was a stock.
There was a stock involved, yeah. Stock Aitken and Waterman, yes.
I think Stock left after a while.
Another short ball. Again, it doesn't really get up. It shows perhaps that this pitch has got a little less conducive to movement. It's also a very soft ball. Of course, they'll have a new ball within about 8 overs in the morning.
Real Fred was very, very drunk.
He's very, very drunk.
Is he
Very, very drunk.
He did look quite drunk.
I didn't realise he was drunk. I thought he was sort of playing a little bit.
He did have quite a little bit of rum.
I think
have
it
to say.
caught up with him, is the phrase I'd use.
Yes.
Well, he probably shouldn't be allowed to wander off into the distance, should he? In that state, we should possibly have him conveyed.
Committed.
Men with Ven says, Hendo, if you mention Sting again, you will be dead to me.
Thanks, Dave. You're on my way.
Is that the real Men with Ven, or is that the man who holds the Men with Ven flag at Glastonbury? Because we know that you are not one and the same person now.
He wasn't down the front of the Chemical
He wasn't. Cummins in bowls another short one which loops up a little bit. Was that a slower bounce or a deliberately slower bounce, or was it really that he can't get much out of this pitch now? I'm not sure. Anyway, it's safely mastered by Stokes.
Although it wouldn't surprise me to find out that Dave was down the front at Glastonbury at the Chemical Brothers.
You mean you might not be letting us into the whole story?
He was probably in Thailand.
Or Whitstable.
Or Whitstable. Same thing.
Well, you know, you can have different tastes in music. You can like Men with Ven. You can like I won't say it.
Sting.
Cummins bowls another short one into the ribs of Stokes, but he plays it quite comfortably down into the ground as the man at forward short leg.
P. Narveen says this over, it will be a wicket.
Don't say that.
Don't
say
Well, I'm not quite sure when they made that comment.
Oh, right.
So
Okay.
it could have been last over. No. I think it's recent.
Okay, relatively recent. 155 for 3. England still need 204 to remain in the Ashes, to keep the Ashes alive.
They're giving it a good go.
Well, they are, but you know, I've seen this so often. They've given it effort, and then suddenly the new ball in the
Let's
morning.
just celebrate what they've done today.
You see, I don't want to celebrate that because I think that's a sort of rather unambitious, really, to celebrate this. To celebrate the fact that they haven't been bowled out for 67 in the second innings. This is well played by Stokes, getting in behind a ball that Cummins has propelled from round the wicket now, dropping it down just in front of him.
I'm just pleased to see Root playing a captain's innings, leading from the front, as they like to say.
Yep.
Come on, Hendo, look.
Eke out the positives.
No, I'm not having it. It's not acceptable to
You
be bowled
bloody-
out
you Sting
for
fan.
single figures 4 times in 3 years. Now, Stokes would love to make this the last over if there's just something he could do to slow Cummins down as he comes in for the final ball. The over and he gets his bat
out of the
perilously close to it, but then out of the way of it.
He could sit down again.
Oh, now they think something happened there. Something happened there. Shall we have an appeal? No, I wouldn't do. Cummins is interested. They're turning to the umpire. I don't know what they're saying, but Payne is now saying, "Did you touch that? Did you touch that? I think you did." And Stokes is trying not to look at him. And we have
Totally
1 second left on the
ignoring
DRS timer. And finally,
It's too much jolly camaraderie again, isn't
Oh,
there?
Stokes was looking at the timer and then turned around when it went to 0.
well, quite right.
Oh, Leah says, I really like Sting.
Well, Leah.
Oh, no, sorry, I haven't finished. Sting's Russians, Field of Gold, and Englishmen in New York are my favourite songs.
Wow.
Sorry, Nestlers.
That's all right. You like what you like.
He's cool.
I went to see Poison Idea a couple of weeks ago in New Cross, punk band from America from the 90s.
Hendo and I look
confused.
confused.
That would not be anyone's cup of tea round here, I tell you.
You don't know what music I like.
No.
No.
But you don't like Poison Idea, do you?
I don't know Poison.
Doesn't like the idea of it.
It's a bit poisonous, isn't it?
It is a bit poisonous. Final over of the day. Can England survive?
Yes.
Root and Stokes at the crease. We have a man at forward short leg, a short mid wicket, a man out at deep square leg, just in front of square, I would say, and it's Lyon coming into Root, who gets in behind that and plays from the crease.
And holds his post for a
and
little
holds
while.
his post. Looks lovely.
I've done something and I'm not going to tell you what I've done.
Don't want to know.
Is it going to smell?
No. I hope not.
Now, an extra fielder is coming in at leg slip.
It's me being confident.
So 3 men round the bat, and Lyon is in. That's flat. Not a great delivery, and in fact, Root is very pleased to see that there's no mid-off, or mid-on, and there's a long-on, so he can actually jog through for a single, and he can say to Ben Stokes, come on, you take it on. You take it on for the last 4 balls. I'm not sure that's a great idea, because I think that Nathan Lyon does like to bowl at left-handers. So, and Root is the man on 75, so I think he's asking his vice-captain to do perhaps something he should have done.
You've got to have confidence in your partner.
Well, as long as he doesn't play the shot he played yesterday.
Well,
no.
I don't think he's going to play that shot to Nathan Lyon.
No.
Ever again, hopefully. No, I've teed up the theme music.
Oh, well done.
In so that I don't have to play anything else.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Well, so
That's
what if
me
there's a
being
wicket?
confident.
I
Well,
see.
that's what I mean.
Oh, I see. Or a 4?
It's me being confident.
Left alone, the next ball outside the off stump, 2 wide from Lyon. We have 3 balls remaining this evening. England are 156 for 3. When they resume tomorrow, at the moment they will need 203 more runs to keep the Ashes alive. But will they be doing it with 7 wickets in hand? Or 6 wickets in hand? In comes Lyon, bowls a lovely ball on the line of leg stump, just turns a little bit. It was quicker through the air, but Stokes got right forward and defended it to Matthew Wade at short leg. And now only 2 balls remain. As Annie gulps next to me. He's in again, bowls, and onto the front foot once more is Stokes. He now has 1 ball to take England into day 4 with 7 wickets in hand. And when England were 15 for 2 shortly after lunch, we didn't really see that happening.
No.
Anyway, what can Lyon do? He's
Root's
just
taking his
shielding.
gloves off.
He has.
He's all ready, isn't he?
Oh, I hope he doesn't have to run now. Just shielding his eyes from the sun. Nathan Lyon gets ready to bowl the final ball of the day. And he's in to Stokes. And Stokes is forward and he meets it with a beautiful full face of the bat, which rolls back towards Nathan Lyon. And England
We did it!
have done the minimum expected of them, which is getting through to the end of the day. Only 3 down and still with a chance, an outside chance, of taking this Ashes deeper into the series. It's been another cracking day of Test cricket, which began with Australia 6 down this morning. And once England had got rid of them shortly before lunch, with Stokes starring again, it was always going to be hard. But after losing Lyon and after losing Jason Roy, who could have foreseen that? England put together a decent stand between Joe Root and Joe Denley. Joe Denley went to 50 from 145 balls. Couldn't really get off 50 though, could he? And then eventually, one too short ball too many. Finally found his wicket.
Oh, look, there's Somerset.
And now Maggie. I was going to call you Maggie for a moment. And he's getting excited because Somerset have come onto our screens. They're going to be taking part in T20 action this evening. So we've already gone away from the Test match. But please join us again tomorrow, because tomorrow morning, well, who knows what could happen. It's going to be a great day. My mum.
Yes, we're back here again. I didn't think we would be.
And my mum will be 90.
Your mum will be 90
My
tomorrow.
mum will be 90 tomorrow.
Happy birthday,
so,
happy birthday, Mrs. Hendo.
Yes, absolutely. I agree. I hope it will be a happy birthday, and I've got to take cake. So I won't be here all day. I might pop in after feeding Grubby's cat.
In the morning.
In the morning, I might pop in for the morning session. So,
go on.
Yes, I will try. Oh, we're going to see Tom Banton back.
Oh,
I've
no,
not seen
this
him
is
back.
it's worth watching.
Okay, we might commentate. Should we commentate on a couple of balls?
Those shirts are hideous.
Who's
What, the
this bowling?
Somerset ones?
It is going to
Not
be
nice, you're right.
number 20 bowling to Tom Banton.
He does a leave. He does a good leave.
The bear can't stand it. He say, wrap it up. Come on, wrap it up.
I'll play the theme music
All right, then.
and we'll
Goodbye.
go.
We'll see you tomorrow. Ta-da. Bye.
Guerrilla crickets. Whoa. Guerrilla crickets. Whoa. Guerrilla. Take guard, man the barricades, patrol the cover boundary. At last the time has come, this is a cricketing emergency. Hear this call to arms for every cricket revolutionary. Take up your bats and stones for the Test match insurgency. At first they tried to silence us, but we would not be silenced. They threatened us with lies, so we threatened them with violence. Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, guerrilla cricket. It's not about the winning, it's about how many rules you break. Even in cricket commentary, this is the best advice to take. Pick guerrilla cricket, it's the finest choice you'll ever make. There's so much more to cricket than rev counters and a slice of cake. But first they tried to sanitize us and clean up our act. But people like